Go.
All right. I am so glad. Where is
he? Is he deafening himself?
No. I don't care. This isn't Twitch. I'm not formal.
Yeah. This is the way it is.
I'm gonna drop the F-bomb every
goes.
3 seconds.
Yeah.
Waiting for his ad. Just wait a minute because he's on YouTube.
Yeah.
Won't get monetized.
Yeah.
Wait a minute.
You have to wait a few minutes and then. Oh, my kid is watching the Pokemon First movie next to me.
All right.
Yeah, on VHS.
Hi Twitch. Hi YouTube.
Hi YouTube. This is what's going on, everybody. Welcome in to the top tier podcast kind of thing we're doing. Got a bunch of my good friends here, and we are going to rank some Nintendo games. But you know what's going on, Pokemon anime collector? How you doing? Welcome in. But yeah, we are gonna hang out, just kind of BS with each other, and rank some Nintendo games and talk about video games for the next couple hours. That's really all this is. And in chat, feel free to chime in as well. I'd love to get your opinions and how you would rank games too. This is totally meant to be like interactive with everybody. I want everybody's opinions on these games. But we have a long list of Nintendo greats. 400 games to be exact. We're obviously not going to get through 400 Nintendo games tonight, but we're gonna
try.
We're gonna try.
You'd be shocked with how efficient I could be.
YouTube, Twitch, you can give us your thoughts and feelings. And there's a tiny human, absolutely adorable.
Yeah, she loves being on camera. But yeah, before we get started, you guys, I got a couple things I wanted to share with all of you because I just thought it was interesting and kind of cool. So we'll start off. Today I went out with my daughter and my wife and my parents, and we went to box lunch because today we had a bunch of the lunch money coupon things that we could start using today. So we used that, and my wife and kids got a bunch of stuff. And then we went over to the flea market and 2 different GameStops, and we picked up some games from the flea market and from GameStop. GameStop actually has a promotion going on right now for those of you who are interested. It is buy 2 used games, get the 3rd game for free. Any games in the store, any consoles in the store, and any accessories, 2 used items, the 3rd one is free. Obviously they're going to pick the cheapest one to give, to be the free one. But essentially the idea is if you bought 2 used Nintendo Switches, you would get the 3rd one for free. So I picked up some games from GameStop. So these are the ones I got. I picked up 3 Switch games and 3 PS4 games. So the first one I got looked really interesting, and I know it's very popular. It even has its own amiibos, but I got Shovel Knight Treasure Trove.
Yeah.
So it looks like it comes with multiple Shovel Knight games on one cartridge, which is really cool.
Yeah, so basically what it is it's the basic Shovel Knight game, and then there are 3 other knights that you'll be able to play in their own individual campaigns within the same universe. It's really cool. Have you played Shovel Knight yet?
I've never played this game before.
Oh, you're gonna love it. It is a mix of Super Mario Brothers 3, DuckTales, and Mega Man, and it's all just kind of thrown in, and it's beautiful. I made a whole... When I had my old brand, I made a whole YouTube video about it, and it was like one of my favorite things to do. So you will totally enjoy this game.
I mean, looking at the back, like you said, it looks literally like a 8 or 16-bit side-scrolling, Mario, Mega Man-esque kind of game. So, I mean, I thought it was cool. Definitely, I'm weird. I like to collect for the Switch now, too, because I just think that Nintendo holds their value, and I just like getting random Switch games sometimes. But yeah, the next Switch game I picked up was so this is my original box, but I bought the cartridge used because I had lost the cartridge. Let's Go Pikachu.
Okay.
I absolutely loved this game, and I actually have the Pokemon Plus controller with the Hori charging station that goes for a lot of money now. But this is a game that I completed my decks and loved it. And I was missing the cartridge now for a while, and I picked it up because it was part of the, deal. So the next game I picked up was a really cool, like a dual pack. It's the Star Wars Jedi Knight collection for the Switch. So this comes with Star Wars Jedi Knight 2, Jedi Outcast, and then it comes with Star Wars Jedi Knight, Jedi Academy, both on one cartridge for the Switch. Got it used, so that was included in the deal. So I like these old Star Wars games, so I thought it would be cool to pick up. What am I doing?
I didn't even know they put those on the Switch.
I didn't either.
Everything's going on the Switch now.
So
They're porting everything they can.
Yeah, there was another bundle there, and it came with Star Wars Pod Racing from the N64, and it came with Star Wars Republic Commando that was on like the OG Xbox. It was like a really random pairing, but I'll maybe eventually get that. Hey, kiddo, what are you doing? All right, next up for the PS4, we picked up Devil May Cry, the HD collection. So it has the first 3 games remastered for the PS4.
Nice.
Yeah, I just thought it would be awesome.
I've never played the Devil May Cry games.
Oh, dude, the first 3 are a lot of fun.
Yeah?
Yeah, I love them. I have the first 3.
Are they hack and slash? Like,
Yes,
what-
100%.
Yeah, exactly.
Hack and slash, just
Hack and slash RPG.
yeah, it's
Oh,
a
sweet.
great game, really fun. Next up, I picked up another PS4 game. It is Vikings Wolves of Midgard. This is a Diablo 3 clone. So it's a
I remember that one.
it's just a dungeon crawler that takes place in like the Viking universe. All right, kiddo. Oh, and then lastly from GameStop, we picked up for the PS4 Nier Automata. Heard this game is fantastic, and it was part of the deal, so I had to grab it. Just like I was real interested in Tales of Arise, so I bought that for the Xbox One as well. So I've been wanting to play Nier and the Tales games, so I thought that was cool. So those were the 6 games I got from GameStop. So do I like the Lego Star Wars games? I think that I like the Lord of the Rings and the Hobbit Star Wars games, and the Harry Potter ones were fun. I've not really played the Star Wars ones. I know Ange has. Ange did a whole YouTube and like live stream of like the newest one that just came out not that long ago. And
well, it's not new.
right.
It's all of them put into one pack with some new content.
Were they remastered for the newer consoles?
Yes.
Okay.
They were remastered for PC and newer consoles, and I still have to finish playing through it, which I'll be doing. I'll talk about that later.
Okay.
But yeah, the Lego Star Wars games are all good. I love them. I love most Lego games, honestly. So you would have fun with them. I really do think.
Yeah, I like I said, I like the Harry Potter and the Lord of the Rings and Hobbit one. Those are fun. So then at the flea market, I picked up a few things. This one was just a throw in because the guy like bundled it, and it was like really no extra money. But the original Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie on DVD, just
Nice. Beautiful. Beautiful. One of my favorite films ever.
It's such a good movie, and I want to get it on VHS. But
Opening day.
yeah,
Because I'm old.
You went opening day?
I went opening day.
That's awesome.
hell yeah, dude. I love the Turtles movies. I remember just watching them as a kid growing up and just thought they were awesome. But next up for the Xbox 360, we picked up this one. It looks like a fantasy RPG. Never played this one either. It's called Cameo Elements of Power for the 360. It looked right up my alley. It has like Fable type graphics. It looks
that one. Yeah, okay.
It looks like Fable or Reckoning, Kingdoms of Amalur, that kind of very very
that would definitely be
cartoonish.
something that would turn your crank.
Yeah. So I wanted to pick that up. I think I got it for $3. It had the manual. It was complete. So I love flea markets. Then next up, we picked up Unreal Championship for the original Xbox complete in box. Got this for $3. I know the Unreal games are super popular. I never played them growing up, but for $3, dude, a complete OG Xbox game, that's kind of cool. And then lastly, the 3 PC games that I picked up at the flea market. We've got Neverwinter Nights 2. We picked up Gothic 2, the gold edition that also comes with Gothic 1. And then lastly, the one I couldn't remember, Ange, I was telling you about, it's called Fate.
Okay, yeah.
So it still has the original $20 Best Buy sticker on it. That's hilarious.
That's fantastic. Yes, I remember that.
So yeah, those are the games that I picked up today.
I think I played that drunk.
But yeah, I was excited to get those. And now, before we get into the tier list, 2 things I wanted to share with you guys that I thought was super interesting. One, I legit thought I got scammed yesterday. So
with those amiibos, correct?
with the amiibos, and I figured out what they are. And I feel bad because I was totally motherfucking the seller. Like, he was like, that motherfucker sold me 4 broken amiibos and he knew they were fucked up. No, he didn't. So these Mario amiibos, I was at a festival yesterday with my parents. I didn't expect to buy or find anything gaming related at the Asparagus Festival, guys. Like, seriously, but I did.
I mean, gaming's everywhere now, dude.
So this guy had
asparagus is in season,
right? Yeah, every year in my town they have this huge asparagus festival, and so my parents went. I took my kid, and I found this table that was full of these Mario amiibos. He had 4 of these, and he sold me all 4 of them for $25. And they go for 20 to 30 a piece on Mercari or eBay. So my thought was, well, I will keep one for myself because I don't have this one. I'll give one to my daughter because she likes to play with amiibos like they're toys. And then I'll sell the other 2 on Mercari or eBay, or give them away in a giveaway or something, or whatever, because they were so cheap, dude. 4 for $25, it's not bad. Well, I noticed all of them had this felt on the bottom. It was like this Velcro felt, like you would see on the bottom of chess pieces or something. And I was like, okay, well, they all have them on it. And I'm like, well, why is that? So I get home and I'm like, I'm going to clean them up. I take the Velcro felt off of all 4 of them, and all 4 amiibos have these holes drilled through the bottom of them, through the chip, so they do not work. And I was livid. I said, why would anybody drill holes through these amiibos, these perfectly good Mario amiibos? And so I made a short about it, and a gentleman commented on it and said, hey dude, what you have are amiibo kiosk amiibos. They are, so these are the amiibos when you'd go to a Walmart or a GameStop, and you would see the amiibo display kiosk that has the LCD screen, and then below it would have like physical amiibos in the little bubble, and you could see like real amiibos. These were the ones that were in there, and the felt is on the bottom because they would stick to Velcro in the machine so that they didn't move. Nintendo purposely drilled holes in the bottom of all kiosk amiibos so that you could not resell them or use them. They were for display purposes only. And the guy, what he told me in the comment rang true. Looked them up, they're everywhere. It's not hard to find information on them. So I ended up with 4 kiosk Mario amiibos that don't work. So they're cool.
Oh my God.
They're cool for display. You know, it's fine. I'm still going to give one to my daughter. I'm going to keep one, and I'm going to do, I think they're cool for collectors who want them because they were from a kiosk. I'm going to probably just give them away to a couple friends in the retro community, if I'm being honest.
Well, you know what you could do? You get more and make yourself a chess set.
Oh my God.
That would be fucking cool.
That's a good idea.
Or like my thought was last night, I'll just buy an amiibo kiosk until I saw they're like $1,500. So
sure,
that's not
that is a down
anytime
payment on
soon.
most things.
Yes. And then lastly,
one of those McDonald's displays where you can play Mario Kart and McDonald's while you're at it.
That would be amazing. My dream, you guys, for the game room is I just want one kiosk, just one kiosk. I don't care what gaming kiosk it is. I just want one for my game room. But yeah, so the next big piece of news before we start the list, and I thought this was really cool that I wanted to share with you guys. So there was a vendor at the Asparagus Festival who I've seen at other events before that I have bought things from. This person sells like anime figures and plushies and, you know, the more modern stuff, nothing retro, right? You'll get like a new Mario plush or like an Attack on Titan Funko Pop or something from these guys, right? And I bought from them before at an event a few months ago, and I start chopping it up with the owners of the booth. Really nice people, Rose and Elvin. They have an Instagram page. I will share it with you guys if you're interested, but super nice people. My parents and I were chopping it up with them. Come to find out, Rose used to work for Sega back in the 90s, and she worked for Sega during the Dreamcast and Saturn era. And she was one of the leads for their marketing department, and she was part of the team that would go and set up the E3s and all of the live events that Sega would do. So we're talking about this and I'm geeking out. I'm like, you really worked at Sega? And she goes, yes, I worked at Sega and was let go after the Dreamcast and the hardware department closed down. And so she said that years ago, because she said she has so much Sega stuff from when she worked there, that she wanted to just give it away years ago, and her husband wouldn't let her. So she told me, she gave me her phone number, and she said, I still want to get rid of all of it. I am going to keep a few sentimental pieces, but I do have a lot of Sega stuff that I want to get rid of. So here's my number, reach out to me, and I'm going to offer it to you. And so I don't know what it is, but it could be promotional stuff, it employees only kind of stuff. I have no idea what it could be, but I'm very excited. I mean, anything that's from the period that's Sega would be really cool to just have. And I was thinking, if she's cool with it, I would love to shoot a video of me doing this transaction and picking her brain about when she worked at Sega. I just thought it would be really cool. So I'm going to speak to her about it and see if that's something she would be interested in. If she doesn't want to be on camera, it's totally understandable. I'll still film what I bought from her on my own. But yeah, I'm really curious to see what she has.
If you do happen to get her on camera and she tells you stories, get like all of that written down and send it to like Video Game History Foundation, because any kind of story, any kind of like insight into how things were developed or how things were brought about, you know, it's pieces of history, it's information.
Absolutely.
Yep.
I just was not expecting to meet an ex-employee from Sega at the Asparagus Festival. But you never know.
Well, I mean, vegans play video games too.
Yeah. But yeah, guys, that's my stories. I wanted to share the cool amiibo kiosk stuff and the pickups and meeting a Sega employee and potentially buying some Sega stuff from her in the future. Cool. That kind of stuff is stuff I see in YouTube videos on other retro creators channels, like, oh dude, I met this guy who worked at Sega and he had a giant freaking Sonic display in his garage and I saw it on OfferUp and I bought it. And like, I never see crap like that. So yeah, that was cool. I'll keep you guys updated on that. But without further ado, guys, I think we should jump into ranking some Nintendo games, and we can talk about video games and stuff in between and BS. But let's.
Since we're talking about Sega, I might as well, bring up the thing with Sega. That Sega Sammy bought Rovio, the developers of Angry Birds, for $1 billion this week.
Wow.
So Sega.
You want to know how much Angry Birds are worth? They're worth $1 million apparently.
Yeah,
I just saw that in the news today.
That's so crazy that Sega bought Angry Birds. Like, it's such a random acquisition, but I mean,
yeah.
Angry Birds was huge when I was in Japan.
Oh yeah.
But Angry Birds was kind of big in general by then, so I don't really know if it makes a difference.
Well, here's the thing about Angry Birds. It was just one of the first mobile games that actually was.
It broke through the market.
Broke that market. It said, no, we're here and we're here to stay. And to this day, Square Enix is still trying to pump all their stuff onto mobile before anything else. We're all like, 1 second, please.
And then they close after a year.
So, real quick to go back. So Angel said that Fate is also a Diablo clone.
Well, those are perfect for you then.
Yeah, exactly. I love these old fantasy PC games, dude. I try to keep all of those. I just love games like that. But hi, Angel. How are you, buddy? But yeah, guys, we can jump right into it. So let me pull up the list really quickly. First up, we have. Let's see what we're gonna rank first.
I am looking for a game that is not on this list.
Oh, and also, guys, like we normally do, we're gonna everybody gets one masterpiece.
Okay.
Or God tier, whatever you want to call it. You pick one game that is the end all be all. If you were on a desert or a deserted island and you could take one Nintendo game, what is that game going to be? You get one. So
There you go. I could just go right now, and we could just
Super Mario World.
You got it. Put it up there.
Okay, I gotta find it.
Oh God, we're deciding already.
No, you don't have to. But
I've already got my. I just had to put it in. I just had to put it in while I'm talking. I found it. Well, my reasoning. I've explained this before. I feel I don't know if I explained it with you guys, but it's but Super Mario World is not only my favorite video game of all time, it is also my most nostalgic video game of all time. A story that I have not told, and I won't tell until the appropriate time. But this game, it truly does deserve that top spot, because all of the kaizos and all of the different variations of this game that are still being made, created, speedrun, and challenged today all derive from the physics of this game, and the testament to that, it withstands hurricanes. There could be so many different iterations of Mario that come out. A lot of people prefer Mario 3's gameplay over Mario World, and that's great, but this engine that they used to create Super Mario World is still being used and hacked and what's the word I'm looking for? And designed to this day. There's no other game that I know that has gotten this much change and positive reception over the past 32 years. So yeah, definitely worth its God tier.
That's up to you, Mark. And you pick sit in both. You can sit in both, and that's I absolutely agree with that. I mean, we're still getting games now that are either built on that engine or close enough that it might as well be.
Right. Yo, what's up, Bargain? How you doing, brother? Welcome in.
Did we move it up
hard
there?
call.
Yeah, it's up. There's always that like debate in the retro community. It's like, which Mario was better, 3 or World? Like, what do you guys think? Like, 3 or World? Because they're both masterpieces, really. I mean, they are.
I can give you a lot of different pros and cons for each. The thing about 3, beautiful, ever-changing music. There's not a lot of repeated music in that game, especially when it comes to the maps and the all of the different little bonus screens and everything. There's just a lot of variety when it comes to the score of Mario 3. Mario World played it a little bit safer in the music department, because Koji Kondo had literally just come off of composing Mario 3. Going into Mario World, he was like, you know what, I'm going to simplify. I'm going to have one master tune, like one master melody, and take that and do different things with it. Super Mario 3 had shorter courses, which didn't offer a lot of stage variety, but they did a lot with having those compact stages and offering many of them, whereas Super Mario World kind of expanded them a little bit and made it a little bit more about the exploration instead of just trying to find the goal. Because they had all of the different, ways that you can find all 96 exits.
Right.
Yeah. The thing about Mario 3 being on the NES, when transferred over to Super Mario All-Stars on the SNES, that's when you can get a really solid comparison of the two in a lot of different forms. But Super Mario World, I think, retains the higher color palette even after the move over, because Mario 3 in that move to the SNES, lots of cool backgrounds were added, but not a lot was done to make it very vibrant. It still feels like it is an NES game in just the way that it presents itself visually.
Right.
So Mario World definitely has the higher color palette, the more of a pop, I should say.
Right.
Yoshi is another factor, but then again, Mario 3 had power-up variations.
The
you know,
Tanuki suit.
Right, and the Hammer Brothers suit, Frog suit. There was a lot of transformation variety and lots of different ways to play those shorter courses. Whereas in Super Mario World, you have your basic, you know, flower star, but then you get the cape feather, and that's kind of like, you know, the easy way out when you just want to finish the game as quick as possible. But Yoshi, I think, was the Karibo shoe Uber for Mario World when compared to Mario 3.
Yeah.
So those are just a couple of the pros and cons I can think of. I think that the Mario 3 bosses were there was more variety in the bosses for Mario World, but there wasn't a lot of tension in those boss fights with the Koopalings. I felt there was more tension in Mario 3 with the Koopa bosses.
Right.
And when compared to a final battle with Bowser, I think that Mario 3 takes that over Mario World, where you just have to toss these Koopa mechs, the mech Koopas, up towards Bowser. And the screen was black so that they could really utilize Mode 7 in how Bowser's Koopa clown car moved and scaled and everything.
Right.
So I think that the final boss with Bowser was, and even the Koopalings, was a lot more intense in Mario 3. So yeah, those are just a couple of things off my head.
What about you, Drake? Haley, what do you guys think? Which game's better?
I could just mess with you and tell you mine.
Well, no, I mean, I mean, it's totally up to you guys. In my opinion, I don't know. It's hard for me because even though I didn't grow up with the NES, my first game I ever played that I got Christmas morning with my Super Nintendo was Super Mario All-Stars.
Okay, we're on that.
So, I mean, the first time I ever played Mario 1, 2, and 3 was on All-Stars, and it's fun.
Yeah, that's basically the whole thing with me, is that I that was the first one I started with.
Yeah.
But we had the version that had Super Mario World on it as well.
Oh yeah, the double cartridge. Yeah, I had the regular one. But like for me, it's kind of funny because, well, obviously my Super Nintendo came boxed in with Super Mario World. So, and then All Stars was an extra Christmas present. So I had both at the same time. But what's funny is, like, not growing up with the NES, and I just got my NES 2 Christmases ago from my wife. Yo, what's up, Hito? How you doing, man? Welcome in. I had never played the original versions of Mario 1, 2, and 3 on the NES. So when I got them for Christmas from my wife 2 years ago and I popped them in, I'm like, I don't remember them looking this bad. And it's because my childhood memory of them was All Stars with the much, nicer looking game that was cleaned up. And so, like, playing them on the NES, I'm like, yeah, the better version, the better way to play them is on the Super Nintendo for sure. Plus you get the Lost Levels, which was basically Mario 2 in Japan. So
yeah. Nightmare fuel.
But yeah, exactly, dude. I love my favorite Mario, and we'll get to it. We'll talk more about it, but my favorite is 2. 2 is my favorite, honestly. But all right, so masterpiece for Mario World. That doesn't surprise me because I just know Jeremy. But next up, we're gonna skip around to different franchises. Let's do Donkey Kong Country for the Super Nintendo.
Okay, I can tell you now, Donkey Kong Country 2 Diddy's Kong Quest is definitely the S tier of that.
Yeah, and a lot of people,
I agree with that.
A lot of people would definitely agree with that.
I think A for Donkey Kong Country, just for its wow factor. When that came out, PC gaming was starting to become a thing.
In my head.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, what's his face? David Wise, right? Who did the music? Right?
Yep.
Amazing what he did with that sound chip. Incredible CD quality music on an SNES game. I mean, in '94, like, Nintendo was trying to prove, like, yeah, we know we messed up with our relationship with the Sony, so we know what they're gonna come out with. So we gotta, like, push the envelope with Silicon. So
Mhm.
Donkey Kong Country definitely for its wow factor in music and visuals and just simplistic gameplay. I mean that was the first game I remember that did not have permanent stats or scores on the screen. They all went away, and then as you collected things, they popped up on the screen. So you've got this clean visual of the whole, world that they're building.
Yeah.
DKC3, Hito, who's actually in chat, I know loves this game. I would give it a solid B. It just didn't kind of hit the way that the other two did. It kind of got a lot, I guess, more childish in its presentation. Not to say that discounts how good the game is. There was a lot more to do in that game. But I felt that it just didn't have the same punch that the other two did. So that's kind of how I would place those three in succession.
Yeah, I would put Donkey Kong Country 1 as an A, 2 as an S, and 3 as a B. Yeah, that seems about right to me. What do you guys think?
I agree.
Yeah.
I can agree to that.
Okay, so we'll put Donkey Kong Country there, and then we'll take 2, put it in the S, and 3, put it in the B. All right, one of you guys pick a game. Haley, pick a game. You have the list. All of you should have the list in front of you, right?
Yeah.
I did. I accidentally closed out of it. But we'll do my masterpiece and get that out of the way.
Okay.
Majora's Mask.
Fuck yeah, that's why we're friends.
Yeah.
That is why. That is why.
And
pick
if I
another
was
one.
trolling,
Yeah.
and if I was trolling, it would be Wind Waker because
And-
that one's honestly good too.
And that again.
Hey, Rex, hey, guess what? We're talking about Wind Waker.
That's also why we're friends, because you fuck with me and troll me on a regular basis.
Did you notice I put 2 Wind Waker icons in the picture for tonight, but no other game had 2 characters.
Yeah. So
I was like, he's gonna
That's
know
how you know
this.
you have good friends.
Bargain says Majora's Mask would be his S tier as well. So Majora's Mask is fantastic, dude.
It's a beautiful game. It's just my anxiety. I could never complete the game. Like, I got far. It's just my anxiety goes through the roof every time I play. I just feel like
The
there's
pressure.
always this
Breath of the Wild
tension,
is the story.
which is really cool. But then
Yeah.
again, I just kind of want to explore a little bit. You know what I
Well,
mean?
To bounce off of that, what's funny that the reason that game is God tier for me is it's a comfort game for me, because during all, I'm not going to trauma dump, but during all the stuff that happened to me while I was a kid, I would play Majora's Mask as an escape from it. And so now it just reminds me of times that I actually did feel safe back then. So it's just a comfort. I love the story. And then when I got older and read Ben's Drowned on Creepypasta, which is a good read if you guys ever want to be even more creeped out by that game. I don't know. Something about that game it makes me feel good.
Yeah, I can get behind that.
Fair.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be honest. The reason why I love it so much, the first time I ever beat that game from start to finish was live on Twitch. That was my favorite streaming experience I had ever had, playing a game on Twitch.
So when we met.
That's when me and Haley met, and I was doing this thing where I love the Zelda franchise. I fucking have a Zelda tattoo. I mean, me and my wife just bond over that super hard. I mean, the first Zelda game I ever played with my dad was Link to the Past. I've played most all Zelda games at this point, and getting to play that for the first time from start to finish on stream. Now, I had played it growing up, but it was too hard for me when I was a kid. I never got very far with the whole time mechanic. But I absolutely adored it, and chat was super stoked that I was playing it. So it was a very lively chat. Everybody was helping me out. There was a lot of good times, frustrating times where I wanted to throw the fucking controller across the room. But overall, the story I thought was so rich and so much deeper than like Ocarina of Time or basically any Zelda game that we had up to that point. And I loved all the side quests. I think that up to that point, Zelda hadn't had as good of side quests
Mm-mm.
in any Zelda game. Like
It was all very linear.
24
Yeah, and you know,
paths.
I did get all the masks with the deity mask, which I will admit was cool, and it was a lot of like hard work to get them all, but it really made the end of the game super easy.
I love deity version.
You know, the funny thing with Miyamoto when speaking about games, when he used to make game, is that the story was always secondary, you know, when it came to just like what he was putting out there, or at least producing, I should say.
Yeah.
But now that we're getting into a realm where story is becoming, you know, just more of a cinematic thing in video games, you know, you have something like Majora's Mask coming out in 2000, and you get these characters that have depth and they have background, and you get to empathize with those characters. And in a Legend of Zelda game, that was not too far removed from an audience when they were introduced to, let's say, you know, Ocarina of Time, but it was still what we were used to, you know, with that trifecta.
Yeah.
But now when you have Majora's Mask, and I was just saying in chat, we could rival that with Twilight Princess.
It's another favorite.
These characters are, you know, they're building blocks for, you know, whatever lore Nintendo decided to create with the timeline that they decided to do in the early 2010s. But I don't want to digress. But yeah, Majora's Mask was one of those few times that we saw Nintendo actually take story seriously, and not necessarily to another level, but to the respect of who was creating that game. They did something really special with it.
Yeah. Yeah, it was just so good. So fucking good. And it's like a cult classic now, right? Like it has a cult following. A lot of people dislike it just like they dislike Zelda 2. I think more people dislike Zelda 2. But yeah.
Okay, can we stop there? Actually, when I was talking about the one game that I could not see on the list is actually along the lines of how Zelda 2 was created. And stop me if anyone knows this, even in chat. It's called Fazanadu.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
I rented that from Blockbuster.
It's
once.
on the NES.
You did? Oh, great.
It's on the NES, right?
Okay, yes, it is. I discovered Fazanadu when I was it was during the pandemic, and I had latched onto OpenEMU on my Mac, and I was like, yeah, retro gaming is becoming really expensive, and I have a child, so I'm gonna have to do this the easier way. So I found Fazanadu, and I fell in love with it. And the first thing I said to myself was, wow, this feels like Zelda 2 with like medieval magic and stuff, and not necessarily stuck within, you know, the realm of Hyrule and whatever. And it's a lot of fun. Like, it's definitely an RPG. It's a side-scrolling RPG, and it has character. It has, you know, it's just fun. I recommend it to anybody wanting that Zelda 2 feel for the NES. Fazanadu. It's such a fun time.
Nice. Yeah, I see that game all the time.
I can agree that it was pretty good. Compared to Zelda 2, because Zelda 2 just no.
Yeah,
just no.
Not the biggest fan of Zelda 2, but you did get Dark Link, right? You know, that was the first appearance of him, so which is kind of cool. But alrighty, next up we're gonna talk about Drake. Pick a game.
Kirby and the Crystal Shards.
Ooh.
That's for N64, right?
That is for N64. That was one of the really big 3D Kirby titles.
Oh, that one. I didn't actually get to play that one.
All right, Kirby and the Crystal Shards found you. I actually played that with my daughter not that long ago. I like it. I think it's a really good game.
It's a really fun, really enjoyable game. The play style is really unique. You had the double abilities. You had the mixing and matching. Pretty much you had the super abilities. It was fun. And the music is phenomenal too as well.
Mm-hmm. Drake, do you mind if I ask you, do you feel like Crystal Shards' pace is a tad slow?
I do, but that's what makes it interesting as well.
Okay.
For me, because I actually liked it, that it was a little bit I'm trying to find the right wording here. That it didn't exactly, it wasn't overwhelming. Like, it wasn't too too fast paced like other Kirby games was. Like you had to either make it through it was all from one start to finish. That's pretty much all it was. It was like beginning to end. But you had an actual objective. You actually had a collectathon. In this one, you had the crystal shards, and it was fun seeing what kind of interactions the other characters did.
Nice.
Yeah, I think that's the one thing that held me back from really enjoying Crystal Shards is that it was just a little bit slower paced. But then again, one of my top 10 favorite games of all time is Kirby Superstar for the SNES. So I think that's why I feel like, because that's a very fast paced game. There's a lot of action, a lot going on. So when you transfer to Crystal Shards, I just feel like I was just trying to like pull out a little bit more,
Did you
faster-
play Superstar Ultra? Did you find anything that was like more? Enjoy that a little bit more because of the extra games and other.
Yeah, I think, being my namesake, I think that the nostalgia takes over for me for Superstar on the SNES, but I actually enjoyed Superstar Ultra more in my playthrough. I thought that it had a lot more, obviously, to offer. The gameplay did not change from, that transfer over to the DS, so I would put Ultra over Superstar on a tier list, but I don't think it would go over in my heart.
So
Would you say it's more than a glorified port?
Yes. Oh yeah, absolutely. I think it's more than a glorified port because they actually went and took Kirby's design and they switched it up to match it to what his DS sprite looked like at the moment. So they literally went ground up and said, okay, here's what worked. Here's what we can improve upon. So I think it's definitely more than a glorified port.
So I liked Kirby's Epic Yarn for the Wii a lot.
I did too.
Yeah.
Such a cute game.
I loved it. The music is one of my favorite video game soundtracks. Just the piano at the forefront. It's just great.
So where are we putting Crystal Shards, you guys? Bargain in chat says it's an A- for him.
Okay.
I
agree with
didn't
that.
play it, so I don't really have a. I've only played a couple Kirby games.
I haven't played a single Kirby game. This whole time I'm like sitting here and thinking, like, which one have I played? I'm like, I don't think I ever
Can't
did.
return to Dreamland Deluxe.
My son has like all the new ones. He's been playing. He's 6. He's been playing his Switch for like a year. I got it for him when he turned 5, and
So
I've shown him like all the
indicate-
classics. He is really into Minecraft and really into Kirby. Those are his two.
My kid's
My son
really
loves
into Kirby.
too, and he's the same age. He's 6. I gave him a Switch Lite last year.
Yeah, and I think when I first got on Minecraft, he was still a little too young for it, but he's gotten really into it in the last like 2 months. And I was like, oh, this is gonna be the theme for the next 12 years.
Yeah,
Until he discovers Roblox, yeah.
I bought my daughter I got her a Switch Lite for Christmas. I know she's only 2.5, but I really wanted to get her one, and I got her the Kirby and the Forgotten Land, and she doesn't know what she's doing, but she just runs around and she runs around and pushes buttons, and it's she likes it.
That's part of the
Fun to see
experience.
him.
Yeah.
My son actually, that was the first game he ever beat by himself.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, he totally by himself. Yep.
It's a really good
I was
game.
really impressed.
Yeah.
So Kirby and the Forgotten Land, or I'm sorry, Kirby and the Crystal Shards for me is probably a solid B, just because I like Epic Yarn slightly more.
Mm-hmm.
So
Well, we can rank those too. I mean, we were just talking about what Superstar Ultra.
Is right.
Yeah, might as well bring up all the Kirbys.
all right.
Or some of them. Most of them, anyway.
Okay.
So Crystal Shards is a B.
Epic Yarn, I think, is an A.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
I loved Epic Yarn.
Yeah, Prince Fluff was originally supposed to be the main star of that game, but then Nintendo turned to Hal and said, "Hey, look, I don't think this is gonna sell if you don't have another like mainstay in this title role." So Prince Fluff was pushed to the story, and then Kirby was pushed as the main character.
That makes sense. Honestly.
Oh yeah.
All right. So Ange, pick a game.
Since I'm debating my master piece, and I'm stuck on it. I'll say Link to the Past. We can discuss it. It's might be my masterpiece, but I'm not 100% sure on that yet.
Okay.
Is it one of those games where like one morning you wake up, it's that, and then you'll wake up like tomorrow morning and it's another game?
Yeah.
That's the case
Yeah.
for you, right? Okay.
Yeah,
All
it
right.
is.
I can get behind that. Sure.
I put a stupid amount of hours in Link to the Past. A stupid amount of
Okay.
hours. I still do. I get it out and play it every year, at least once a year.
That's the same with me and Super Mario RPG. I had to take it out and play it once a year. Yeah. Same thing.
So
Okay.
speaking of Mario RPG, on a side note, Jeremy, I don't know if you knew this, but recently well, not recently, it's probably 6 to 8 months ago now, but I don't know if you remember when I bought the cartridge for it.
Yes, I remember.
I sold it.
Wow.
I sold it.
Wow.
I don't want to pry.
Okay, I didn't sell it. I traded it at the last last convention I went to with one of the vendors that I'm cool with.
For what?
So I'm trying to build my GameCube collection, and Mario RPG is a very expensive. It's an expensive cartridge. It's like $100 game. Yep. I traded it for Billy Hatcher on the GameCube, which is another $100 game.
Wow, the betrayal. That hurts me.
I know. I just maybe I'll have it again one day. But if I'm being 100% honest, I'm hitting the GameCube and the PS2 really hard right now, and I just don't see myself playing Mario RPG at least anytime soon.
It's
yeah.
so good.
Now there's okay. So I'll
I almost sent it to you. I can't believe this.
Well, here's the thing,
know.
Mike. I'll level with you. A lot of your nostalgia comes from Xbox.
Yeah.
Xbox and PS2.
Right.
Sure.
Now here's my next question. How big are you on Final Fantasy and RPGs of that nature?
So I played 7. That was the first one I had ever beat. I used to have Final Fantasy.
Played 7.
Right. I played 2 because I had a copy of 2 growing up on the Super Nintendo.
Okay. But is it a genre of game that you would find yourself like coming back to?
I like RPGs, and I'm not the biggest fan of turn-based RPGs. And so
I'm same.
Certain games that are they will hook me even with the turn-based, but for me personally, it's very rare that a game hooks me with a turn-based combat system.
So I am along the same lines as you. There are only a very few specific RPGs of that turn-based nature that I will play, but Super Mario RPG, I'm so upset that you traded it, because that's the one game where I think you would really enjoy. The story alone, set within that Mario universe, okay, you saw the Mario movie, correct?
Yes.
Okay, no spoilers at all, but the way that they write Bowser in Super Mario RPG rivals the way that Jack Black performed as Bowser in the new Mario movie.
Well, Bowser
it was beautiful.
He's on your team, isn't he, in Mario RPG?
Yes, he is, but the way that they wrote him is just
the personality.
Spot on for a personality that you would think, because up to that point you've only known Bowser. When that game came out, you've only known of Bowser's existence in the United States for 11 years. So you basically have a decade and a year and change of like just seeing him as this villain, and all of a sudden the floodgates open up and the writers are just like, yeah, let's make him like really interesting and have a purpose for joining the team. And that alone I think would sell you. So do you have the SNES Classic Edition?
Well, is it on is it on the Switch, the virtual?
No, it's not. It's on the Wii U Virtual Console. It is also on the SNES Classic Edition.
I don't have my SNES Classic Edition, but I'm not scared to emulate. So I mean,
you should play it. You really should.
Yeah, that's
Well,
a game.
I mean, I have my modded Wii with 6,000 games on it that has the entire.
That's right. So find it.
Oh, it's on there.
guarantee-
So
Yeah.
And you know what? The level building and the experience building is not difficult. This game is built for people who are learning how to play turn-based RPGs. So
Yeah,
you won't
it's
have
one
to
of
like
baby's first RPGs.
yeah, you won't have to grind for hours. You won't have to do all that. You just literally have to face as many enemies in your path as possible. There's no random encounters. All the enemies are in front of you. It's just a fun time. I highly recommend you give it a shot.
So, Angel, I will give it to you. That's fine.
Give Angel his masterpiece.
There you go.
Go for it. Do it.
So honestly, when I do play through it eventually on my Wii, if I love it, if it captivates me, I'll just buy it again, dude. It's like $80 to $100. I mean, yeah, that's pricey for one retro game, but like I get stuff to trade all the time, dude. So like,
Bye, Angel.
you know,
Yeah, but you gotta. Hopefully, you may find it when you get to that point.
yeah, but
And you remember.
Okay.
well, it's a very common game, dude. Like you can,
Well, maybe you'll find it at the next asparagus festival.
yeah, right.
You're shutting me out.
Because we all know vegans love Super Mario RPG.
Yeah, the next flea market, I find it for $5. Like, yeah. Okay, so I put
Yes, Link to the Past.
I put Link to the Past in S until you decide on whether or not that's your masterpiece, because that's where it
Yes.
belongs if it's not your masterpiece.
And what's the
Yes.
other one that you wake up every morning?
I
being
have
like,
a couple.
"Yeah, it's-" Oh, you
Actually,
do. Oh, okay.
like Mario Kart on the Super Nintendo.
Oh, hell yeah.
Love that
Like
Wait.
game.
that-
Oh
was-
yeah. Base Super Mario Kart. Okay.
Like the original Super Mario Kart, that changed gaming experiences for console.
Yeah.
Like that's what got kids hooked on LAN parties.
Yeah.
Okay, so Jeremy, pick a game.
Pick a game.
Yep.
Let's pick a game. All right, everyone. Hold on to your tuchus.
I figured this would be easier if I just go one by one. You guys pick a game. Then I don't have to.
Yeah.
Then I don't have the pressure of
Just round
picking
robin,
everyone.
sure.
Yeah, just round
we
robin.
we are talking about Star Fox 64.
S
We're
tier.
all in this together.
S tier. Like
Do a
S tier.
barrel roll.
do a barrel
Yes,
roll.
S tier.
Now, here's the other thing. There are two versions of Star Fox 64. There is the N64 and there is the 3DS.
I only played N64. I've never
Oh,
played the
like
3DS
I played
version.
both.
I have played
Thank
both. I gotta tell you, I'm leaning more towards the 3DS.
Yes,
And-
I agree.
Yeah, I think the 3DS, the way that they programmed Star Fox 64 3D is what Star Fox Zero should have been.
God, that was such a letdown. I still have mine complete in box.
I am a Star Fox Zero apologist. I would put Star Fox Zero in S if I
Oh,
had
no.
my way. If I had my way, but I can't because the
Vetoed.
only thing that prevents me from putting it in S is that you cannot change the control scheme. You can't. There is no way for you to change the control scheme. So Star Fox Zero in my heart remains an A, but Star Fox 64 3D for me gets the S tier. Just because it's got so much more polish. It has the it has a little bit more to offer in terms of experience.
Was
you
it-
know,
It
the
feels
nostalgia.
more. It
What's
feels more immersive.
well? Wait.
Yeah.
I'm looking at the list real quick, and I don't see the 3DS version. I see a Star Fox Command for the regular DS.
Wait, I was just looking at
No,
it.
that's not it.
That's
Star
not
Fox
it, okay.
Command is the next level up of what Star Fox 2 for the SNES was.
Mm.
Okay,
Yeah.
so 64 to me is hands down an S tier game. Like, there's no question
Yeah, I like
about
the
it.
64.
It's amazing.
My son loves
I
the 64 version. He can't get enough of it. That's all he plays. It's
I
like
just
his
love Star
go-to
Fox.
game. Yeah, it's
Well-
such a fun franchise.
well, you know
I
what?
love that game.
You know what's super random, and I had never played it until I got with my wife. One of my wife's favorite games of all time is Star Fox Adventure for the GameCube.
Yeah, it's a fun time.
Because
it is a fun time.
it is Star Fox meets Zelda, and my wife's one of her favorite franchises of all time is Zelda. So she loves Star Fox Adventures, and I've played a little bit of it. I have it on GameCube, and I just asked my wife the other day. I said, since it's one of your favorite games of all time, can we play through it together? Like for me, for the first time, like you sit with me and we'll take turns. I die, you take a turn, you die, I take a turn. So we're gonna actually sit and play that one together. But yeah,
Cool.
Star Fox 64, definitely S tier game. I don't know if anybody could really argue that. I also have Star Fox Assault for the GameCube, which my wife really likes as well.
Assault is fun too.
I never played that one.
See, the thing with Assault is that
more
it
like
I didn't play most of
shooter
GameCube
version.
stuff, to be fair.
It's-
So
it's-
I missed GameCube.
It's like a
Say again, Drake. I'm sorry.
Oh, go ahead, Drake.
I want
It was-
GameCube.
I said Star Fox Assault was more the shooter one than
Yeah, it was like a hybrid.
it was.
Yeah, it was a hybrid. You get
It-
on the land, you get in
yeah,
the ship.
It was like Adventures meets 64, kind of.
Yeah.
Get this guy off me!
But use the boost to get through. So do a
To
barrel
do a barrel
roll.
roll, press Z or R twice.
It's been how many years has it been since Star Fox 64 came out?
That was 97.
Yeah, like,
97. Okay. So I probably played it 98, 99-ish then. Tell me why in my vocabulary regularly I still say do a barrel roll.
yes,
because it turned into a meme.
yes, it did.
The internet
Yeah.
embraced it. Turned
It's
into
actually
a meme.
an alien. It's actually an aileron roll.
Yeah.
So, all right.
Barrel roll was just more fun to say.
Yeah.
So,
Barrel roll. It's fun with my southern accent.
Do a barrel roll.
Barrel roll.
And in Star Fox Zero, there's I hate to give it away, but there is a stage where you play as Peppy, and when you do a barrel roll, he says it every time you do it.
that's
I
hella
love
funny.
it.
That's great. All right, Drake, pick a game.
Any or like what are we? Going?
Any game you
Any.
want. Anything.
Go for it.
You know what I think is a
Any
really oddball of a game that
Yeah.
I really enjoyed was it's somewhere in like the bottom part of the list. It's Wario Master of the Skies.
Ah.
Okay, let me find it.
yeah.
Let me
That
find
was a
it.
little oddball of a game. It pretty much
Mhm.
followed everything of like the Wario Land, Wario World type games, and it had a nice little thing where it was like Wario meets like they became like this awesome superhero, and you can basically change like into different costumes, and the costumes had different powers.
Mm-hmm.
And you use that to, like you had to collect a lot of things, and there was like a good story behind it. It was like basically
yes.
like gets trapped in this like superhero show he was watching about a thief or something.
So
It was actually
I've never played any Wario
It was
games.
Yeah.
Bargain.
I think
it
you would
was a little
enjoy
oddball. That was interesting.
WarioWare Shake It for the Wii.
WarioWare Shake was really good.
That was a fun game. It was like
What?
playing. It was like playing a cartoon, like a Saturday morning cartoon.
Well, I heard
Yeah.
that I believe it's Wario World for the GameCube. I heard that's a good one too.
That is a fun.
What is Wario Woods?
That was on
Wario's Woods is a puzzle game. on the
Yeah.
Wii.
I've
think it
never
was like,
seen it until this list.
Was it like a
Mhm.
Poyo?
Yeah, there's some on there
Mix
that
up.
I don't recognize.
Kinda. Yeah. It was the very last NES game that Nintendo first party released.
Right.
Mm.
the.
Ooh. Let's do Yoshi's Story.
What where are we putting the Wario game, Drake? Because I've never played it.
Really personally, I only played a bit of it, but I actually liked it. It was I'll go with either a B or C for it.
Okay, let's put it in B.
B is pretty good for that game. That was a fun
Yeah.
game.
Okay.
Yoshi's Story.
Yoshi's Story.
Yoshi's
Another game my
Yes.
son loves to play.
That is the
I love this game.
I didn't play that one.
I think this was my first game I ever beat.
it's the first game I ever beat with my daughter all the way through.
Oh, Haley, keep talking. I want to show you something while I pull it out.
Oh,
It's
Pause.
amazing.
Pause on that.
So
Pause on that.
I'm gonna
the
give
stream will be back in a moment.
I would give Yoshi Story I would give Yoshi Story a solid A, Only because I would give Yoshi's Woolly World an S.
Oh my god, look at that!
Oh, that is
Yeah.
cool.
Okay.
Look how pristine that is.
Yeah, well, I try to keep my stuff in pretty good condition. So yeah, this is my Yoshi Story official Nintendo's Player's Guide before they handed everything over to third party.
If
That's
there's
awesome.
any like artwork or anything, would you like send me pictures of it?
Yeah, absolutely, I will. And you know what? Actually,
I'm
I
a
might
sucker
actually be
for
able to
art
find.
books.
I might actually be able to find a PDF of this. So I
Ooh.
will try to look for you. But yeah,
Okay.
there's let me just show you just the first page of this.
I love that.
Beautiful that is.
Yeah, such a great game.
Really vibrant, really colorful. And this was also at a time when, you know, the PlayStation and the Saturn, with, you know, and Nintendo 64 were all going at it, but everything was trying to become, you know, this not to put Final Fantasy 7 in like, you know, a dark light, pun and completely intended, but everything started to get like darker. Everything started to get like a little bit more of that brown, you know, before Halo showed up and made things a little bit more of a realistic color. This was just such a vibrant, colorful game, and it was so welcome on the N64.
I don't know if I ever showed you this, Haley, but I got this a while ago, but I don't know if you could see it on stream. But
in 5 seconds, I'll be able to.
yeah, so I have a complete.
Good for time dilation.
I have a.
Oh my god,
So it's the Japanese version.
I love it.
So I have a Yoshi Story complete in box, the Japanese import. Yeah, I love.
Yeah, any art books you guys have from like video games? It would be so cool if you just snap a few photos and send me. Those are my favorite. I love looking at
Yeah, the Japanese
all their
games are
different
awesome.
ideas and stuff.
You can.
I don't know if this would be of interest. Any art from this would be of interest to you, but I could probably snap some pictures of this.
Yes, I lost most of my collection, but I recently found I still have Catherine's art book.
Oh, you mean
Yes.
the puzzle game, Catherine?
Yes.
I still have the body
Nightmare
pillow in the
fuel.
box.
I'm never dating anyone named Catherine.
I still wear the boxers.
Yeah, you're right, Angel. The Japanese artwork on games is significantly better than the United States, like hands down. But yeah, Haley, if you're ever interested, just because you love Yoshi Story for sheer like collector's purposes, the complete in box Yoshi Story. First of all, the artwork I think looks better than the American copy, but it's really cheap. You can literally get Yoshi Story complete from Japan for like $20. It's not. Japanese games are not expensive for the N64 for the most part.
Oh.
So like if you
They're
want,
hard to find.
yeah, if you, I bought it for like $20 at a convention. So I mean, if you really wanted like cool old Nintendo artwork that's cheap, buy Japanese games in the box, like on.
That's my goal. I'm gonna start collecting now that I'm able to. So
Hell yeah! All right, so Yoshi's Story, where are we putting it? I think it's an A, just for the sheer fact that like Woolly World is an S to me. I love Woolly World.
I agree. Woolly World is certainly an S. It took everything. Well, here's what Woolly World did. Woolly World took the cuteness aesthetic of Yoshi games and literally put it in the hands of people who love design, like crocheting, and you know what I mean, like that. That was just the biggest thing that they could do. Although I will say that Yoshi's Island, the original Yoshi's Island, which started the whole Yoshi franchise anyway, we could also put that in an S because the controls are just so tight in that. So yeah, I think A for Yoshi's Story.
Do you guys agree with those? Haley,
Yeah.
I have no vote,
okay.
so I didn't play that one.
I love it, but it's an A.
So Yoshi's Woolly World is an S. Can we all agree with that?
Yes.
And then Super Mario World 2, Yoshi's Island is an S, which I totally agree with that as well.
And by the way, that game secretly used the Super FX microchip.
Oh, same as Star Fox. And
Yes.
did Donkey Kong
And
use
Stunt
that too?
No, Donkey Kong did not use that. The Stunt Race FX used the FX microchip. I don't know. I think that there was a chip developed by Rare that allowed them to do the sprite scaling from the 3D models for Donkey Kong Country games.
Okay. I'm trying to find Yoshi's Island because I see like versions for the DS, but I'm looking for the actual Super Nintendo. Oh my god, she's just like losing it.
She's getting Super Saiyan.
Yeah.
Let's be honest.
Who's next to pick a game?
That would be Ange.
All right, Ange.
Yes, Ange is looking.
Drop a train on us.
Looking and actually, no, I know what I want to talk
Please.
about.
Okay.
Please.
I can't find it, but don't hate on me, Twitch. But I have to bring it up because I'll be honest, I spent more time playing this than was healthy when I was a kid, and that would be Mario Paint.
Mario
A
Paint.
Mario Paint.
Wait,
Mario.
Is that not on
Is
this
that this-
list?
is that the same game as there was one where you made music?
Yes, that's it. That's the
That's
same.
That's
Mario
Mario
Paint.
Paint. I fucking loved that game.
Right?
Oh my
Right?
god, I want to play it like right now.
Yeah,
Actually, Mario Paint
it came with a mouse and a mouse pad, right?
Yes.
had Nat Attack. Actually, was my first introduction to Tatanka's song. It's this 19-note medley that you can find in a lot of games that he either produced or he, was a part of in the production. And it's this 19-note melody, and you can find it in the opening. That's how I first discovered it.
Where?
Yep, Mario's sidekick Tails.
Yeah,
That's right.
Mario was fantastic.
Mario Paint was also the first place that you could find the very first HomestarRunner.com animation.
Yep.
That is what the Brothers Chaps used to do their proof of concept before they started to use Flash.
Dude, where is Mario
I don't
World?
know if it's on here.
Mario
Mario
World
Paint?
2. Yoshi's
Take
Island.
a look, Angel. It should be here, but I haven't seen it, and that kind of bothers me because it should be on here.
Well, I'm looking for Yoshi's Island, Mario World 2, and I'm also looking for Mario Paint. I see Yoshi's Island for the DS.
That's Martin Yoshi's New Island. That's not the one we're looking for.
Dude, they have Yoshi, they have Yoshi's Cookie, and Yoshi's Safari. How do you not have Yoshi's Island? Like, it's obviously the best game. Like,
Well, technically, I think I'm not exactly sure. Quote me if I'm wrong, or stop me if I'm wrong. But I think that Yoshi's Island DS was just a revamp of Yoshi's Island. No, it wasn't.
No, it had new levels. It had new, elements.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's the thing with Nintendo. When they usually when they do remaster one of their titles, remake or remaster, they always try to add new content.
Right.
yeah.
That's something they've done for years and years before remakes really took off.
Okay, so I don't see Mario Paint either. So, Ange, pick another one.
Well, fuck me running. All right. Let's see.
What a
I
visual.
guess. See, that's the problem is I'm going to name off games, and I bet you they're not going to be on here. What about Pilot Wings?
Ooh, but which one?
The original, actually.
Ooh, for the Super Nintendo.
Yes.
Yeah. I would put it as I would give it an A. And the only reason I would give it an A is just cuz the scaling factor and the way that it presented itself, really cool to see that you can like do this in like a home console game, but it was just very, very difficult to play. You know what I mean? Like it is definitely a game where you have to sit down with your patience, and just get good.
Yes.
But yeah,
it introduced us to other options of gaming that we didn't know we wanted.
Yeah, I agree with that 100%.
I'm looking for it, guys.
You know, when you think about games that came, especially on the Super Nintendo, and like they're not Nintendo games, but like SimCity on Super Nintendo,
I was just gonna say that was the other game that I thought of in the same breath as Pilot Wings.
Yeah.
What's that? What's that one that everybody loves for Super Nintendo? That's kind of like a game like that. I think you play as God.
Populous.
Oh, ActRaiser.
ActRaiser.
Yeah.
ActRaiser.
ActRaiser 2 is better.
You think so?
And
ActRaiser
the new
2?
one.
Just
I like
the
the second
action?
one better.
Just the action.
All of it.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And I recently went back and replayed both of them last year, I think, and my opinion still stands. ActRaiser 2 is superior to ActRaiser 1.
Interesting. Okay.
Dude, okay.
And I still need to get the new one.
They have fucking Wave Race on here, but they don't have Pilot Wings, Ange.
See, that's the problem with being old. People forget about your favorite game.
And
but they've got original fucking Metroid on here. Like, really?
I definitely don't see Gex 64 in their bargain.
I
don't either.
Gex is
they
in
have,
here?
Fine.
They have the original Metroid. I see it.
Yeah, they've got the original Metroid on there, but they don't have Pilot Wings.
Yeah, it's
fine.
10
Earthbound. Let's do it.
Earthbound.
Let's talk about Earthbound, everybody.
They do have Earthbound.
I know it's on there.
Yep.
I saw it earlier.
Here it is. Earthbound.
Yeah,
Never played it, so I can't speak on it. I just know that it's like a $400 cartridge.
Sure is, kid. Okay, Ange, you go first, or Drake, you guys go first.
For which?
You guys go ahead
Earthbound.
and talk about it. I'll be right back.
I remember Earthbound, but I never exactly really played it. That's the thing.
Okay.
So it's not really on my nostalgic radar for that.
Sure.
Okay, I want to hear what you have to say, Jeremy, first.
Okay.
Yeah, let's go with him.
So the problem with Earthbound that I encountered when I was a kid was the marketing. When this game was marketed to me at 10 years old, the words "this game stinks" and then having those smelly cards in Nintendo Power turned me off immediately from wanting to play that game. And that is the trouble with how to market something that is so revered in Japan. At the time, we didn't really have the internet at our fingertips and being able to say, well, look at this, look at the way that they revere this kind of a game. And then when people bought it, they were like, why does it come with this book? What is it about this game that is so epic that I am just not connecting with? And then people pop it into their cartridges, and the art style just is all hand drawn, and it was a complete throw off for everything that we had come to expect from something that came with a player's guide and wanting to be epic.
Right.
Since then, I have played Earthbound, and I have finished Earthbound, and it has become one of my top 20 favorite games. Just for the climax of the video game alone. When you get to the climax of this game and you have nothing, and I don't want to spoil anything for people who haven't played it, but when you get to the climax of that game and the actions that you have to perform in order to win was the first time that I ever felt interconnected with chips in a system. And that kind of freaked me out, but also that was just beautiful storytelling. And again, it all comes back to the story. The presentation of the game is by design to be that hand-drawn minimalistic style so that you yourself and your imagination fill in all of the gaps to build the world and to build the relationships around you. I would give this game an S, hands down, simply for what it had to offer. It unfortunately probably we get an A or a B from a lot of other people who haven't had that kind of emotional connection, but I totally understand and I totally get that because that's how I felt for more than a decade or so until I finally just took the leap and played the game. I would put it in S tier. Earthbound.
Taken strictly in terms of Nintendo first parties, I would agree with an S tier for it. But overall, for that generation of games, there were RPGs I liked a lot more. So it's one of those things. And as far as the marketing goes, this game stinks and all that stuff. For Gen X, that appealed to us.
Okay.
Because we were also the generation of garbage pail kids.
Yes.
So that kind of marketing, we understood it because that's kind of what it was playing on.
Okay.
We had, garbage pail kids. We had oh god, I can't remember his name. The one He-Man skunk character. That was absolutely fucking horrible.
Chad, help us out.
But I can't remember, Skunk Man or whatever it was. I don't remember now. But the action, the toy literally stank.
Mm-hmm. Right. Okay.
So it was all part of this thing that, it was that opposites, using the opposite language to say cool or whatever. And, it was one of those things. Yes, Gex 64 was amazing, bargain. And everybody climaxes. Stinkor, thank you, Angel. Everybody climaxes when you hit the right buttons. But yes, so that really kind of added to the appeal for us at the time. And it was interesting to see Nintendo tackle an RPG like that.
Okay.
And experiment like that. So I would agree with an S. In terms of strictly for the Nintendo first party stuff, I would give Earthbound an S too as well.
I think they were really pushing the limits of what they could do at that point with that game, because you had Chrono Trigger come out the same year.
Yeah.
And so they probably saw Square Enix pushing that same kind of, emotionally connected story through their characters.
Secret of Evermore.
Even Lufia 2.
Yeah, Lufia 2. I love Lufia 2. I was thinking about playing that again.
Yeah, so definitely Earthbound goes in an S.
Yeah. And Mikey, you're muted.
I am muted. There we go.
Anymore.
All right, so the game that I'll pick for us to discuss next will be all right, I'll do my masterpiece right now. Screw it. The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild.
Ooh,
we knew that was coming.
Let's rock and roll. Let's go.
We're getting controversial.
Yeah. So I have my opinions on certain Zelda games. I think,
and here's one of them.
I think that Breath of the Wild is absolutely a fantastic game. I think that the story aside, I think the gameplay was a lot of fun. The combat was fun. The exploration was a good time. The crafting and the weapon mechanic was great. I loved the cooking and I like being able to get a different horse than Epona or Epona, however you want to say it. I just think it was a fantastic game because let's be real, most Zelda games have
on my drink.
most Zelda games have the same exact story.
I'm sorry.
No, not an EpiPen, Margin. Fuck. But I'm gonna be honest. I like
pen.
EpiPen. Epona.
I'm just not a fan. I was not a fan of Wind Waker.
Oh, that's a surprise.
I think Ocarina of Time is a great game, but I think it's highly overrated alongside Final Fantasy VII. I think that there are much better games in the franchise like Majora's Mask, Twilight Princess, Link to the Past, and Breath of the Wild.
Epona.
So I just think that it's a fantastic game. I mean, I don't really know what else to say. I don't know why people get mad and they want to argue the fact that it's not a real Zelda game because it's not linear and there's no dungeons, which is not true.
That is not
There
one
are
of the complaints I would level at it.
there is plenty of dungeons. People just don't like the fact that the dungeons are called shrines and they're a lot shorter. But there's fucking 100.
That's how I feel. Yeah.
There's 100 of them. So and the divine beasts. You have 4 divine beasts on top of 100 shrines plus all of the exploration. So cry me a river about the fucking dungeons, dude. Like honestly, there's a lot of content.
You change the name, people lose their minds.
The way that the game was designed was to put the home console experience on the go. So if you're commuting to work, sitting on a subway, let's say for 40 minutes, and you're playing Breath of the Wild, you find a shrine. Oh, and I've got 20 minutes left on my commute, and maybe I can beat this shrine before I'm done, before I have to get off of the train and go to work. That's kind of how that game was designed. It was designed with that kind of traveling mentality in mind, because the Switch was designed to be that portable home experience, hybrid. And right, exactly.
The casual core audience.
Right. Mm-hmm. So on top of that, you get this, entirely different kind of experience with the familiarity of the character, and that familiarity keeps people enticed into the idea of the exploration. I would put it as a masterpiece as well, but I put it as a masterpiece in a different way. And I'm actually, and the last time we were on this podcast, I'm almost completed with my essay on how I'm linking Breath of the Wild to how it affects our real life nostalgia and how we coexist with certain games that we play, and how the way that the sun shines at a certain time of day, or the way that the rain falls, or when snow is on the ground, what kind of music do you hear? Do you correlate that with video games or whatever? So this is the essay that I'm writing. I'm using Breath of the Wild as the focus, because I can't really pull from Horizon Zero Dawn. I can't really pull from other open world games like Elder Scrolls 5 or anything like that. So I'm using Breath of the Wild as the basis of that. But the way that the game was designed was that you have those kinds of visual experiences, and they create these kind of real life memories. And it was really cool to see how the programmers were able to design that within a Zelda game. They really put their heart and soul into it. So, for people to dump on, Breath of the Wild, I feel is a trend right now. So I feel like in, about 15, 20 years, it's going to, change, as most things do. So I'm kind of just letting that all ride out. But the way that Breath of the Wild was form fitted for us, definitely a Switch game, definitely that kind of a model, but a fun time to be had with all of the different kinds of things that you could do and create and explore, just with the familiarity again of that character.
Yeah.
We've heard your rant, Bargain, and for me, like, my only main complaint with Breath of the Wild, honestly, is it's a beautiful world that is, and Angel commented on it in chat as well. And there's a lot of empty space. There's a lot of wasted space.
Yeah,
in that world. That's my main complaint. Now, I haven't played it because, like many people, I've watched enough of you guys stream it start to finish over the last 3 years. I don't need to play it because I've experienced it from 50 different perspectives in the same game over and over again enough times.
Yeah.
Right.
But the thing I've noticed, like, it's not a gameplay issue. It's just they have this beautifully crafted world that's kind of empty. And it's like, there's too much wasted space that they could have utilized.
Yeah.
That I hope they fix in Tears of the Kingdom.
Yeah, I mean, that would definitely...
If they fix that, that's the biggest thing. If they fix that, I would be much more interested in playing Tears of the Kingdom than I am already.
So the guy who voice acts for Ganondorf in Tears of the Kingdom also voice acts for what's his name? Levi, I think, in Attack on Titan.
Amazing.
Breath of the Wild is like
uh,
Nintendo's Skyrim. That's probably part of the reason why I don't like it.
Yo.
I
Too.
was just going to say, like, if I wanted Breath of the Wild, I'll just go ahead and play Skyrim with a whole bunch of loaded Zelda mods.
Yo,
It's
what's
like
up, Manny?
the same fucking thing.
It's like Breath of the Wild is like Skyrim without all the life.
Yeah, I mean, I could see that. I'm not gonna lie though. I feel like for their first attempt at an open world game, it was a really good game, and I hope that the things that, I love Breath of the Wild, but that doesn't mean I can't admit that there's flaws in the game.
Yeah, I'm under the same impression, Berg. I'm pretty sure they're using the same map.
What
Yeah.
they're doing is, well, the islands that are in the sky leave gaps in the world, so I think they're taking out a lot of that emptiness, and they're just kind of filling it with, the
More emptiness.
No, they're filling it with
God
the
damn it.
the communities that we're expanding. So
I know.
all of that emptiness is now going to go up into the sky.
I just couldn't resist, and it's like seeing those islands in the sky. I'm like, oh, so we're going for we're adding some Skyward Sword to it, are we?
Yeah.
Yes, obviously, of course. Well, that's why they came out with the freaking game last year anyway.
Well, yeah, and I mean, and it all makes sense, right? Because it's all part of the same universe. I mean, they draw from a lot of the older games and brought a lot of it into the newer, into Breath of the Wild.
Well, you know what? Well, what Nintendo is doing that's smart now is they're actually utilizing their own created timeline as a source of continuity in form.
And
You know what I
playing
mean?
to it.
Yeah.
Not really sure bargain on that yet. No idea, dude. You also love Skyrim. I do love Skyrim. So, in my opinion, you asked earlier, Jeremy, if there's like one game that's your favorite one day and then you wake up the next day and it changes. I'm always caught between two games for mine, and it's always Skyrim or Lineage 2. And most people, everybody knows what Skyrim is. Most people, unless you played MMOs in the early 2000s, have no idea what Lineage 2 is. But those are always jockeying for my number one spot, like all the time. But Breath of the Wild is probably in my top 10 games of all time, which is a video that I want to make for the channel, but I really have to put a lot of thought into it, because like, I'm going to try to put together a list that only has one game from a franchise in it. I don't want my list to be like Zelda games. I want it to be like, which Zelda game? Okay, I'm going to pick one of each, one from each franchise. Yeah. But yeah, I just really I'm excited for Tears of the Kingdom. I pre-ordered the game. I'm going to get the GameStop exclusive wooden plaque that comes with it. I pre-ordered the amiibo, and I also pre-ordered the Switch OLED.
Oh, I want
sweet.
that.
That's right.
Yeah.
I remember you did
Yeah.
that. Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
excited for Tears of the Kingdom too.
Fan.
I love Breath of the Wild. It was also the month that it came out, I became a father, so I was just at home being a dad and then playing Breath of the Wild. So it was a very special time for me personally.
And what's funny is I got the Switch OLED and I'm never gonna open it. Like, I literally, I mean, because why would I open it? It's literally, I have a Switch. It's not an OLED, but the only benefit for the OLED is if you like to play it in handheld mode, which I do not. I never play my Switch in handheld mode. I've played my Switch in handheld mode like twice since I've owned it, and both times was when I was at the hospital when my two children were being born. Like, that is it. So I don't care about the OLED screen. I just, from a collector standpoint, want a sealed Tears of the Kingdom console on my shelf that will stay there for years and years and years. And I'll just play Tears of the Kingdom on the same Switch I played opening day for Breath of the Wild. I'm totally fine with that.
Yeah.
So I will open up the amiibo though. I open up all of my amiibos because I play with them. I actually use them in game, and I think these Zelda amiibos are amazing. Every single one does something in Breath of the Wild.
They're useful.
They're useful in Breath of the Wild.
Yes.
Every single one, all 25 of them. So I'm just really curious to see how they implement amiibo usage for the older amiibos into Tears of the Kingdom. Like, what are you going to get? Is it going to be the same stuff that you got in Breath of the Wild? Is it going to be different? I'm excited. and
Majin.
what the hell is an amiibo? You don't know what an amiibo is, Majin? What the fuck?
She's gotta be kidding.
It's like a little, it's Nintendo's version of a Funko Pop, but it actually,
It's toys to life.
yeah, it does something. They have little stands and you can scan them into the game and use them in game. They're little Nintendo figurines, but I'm also curious to see what other amiibos they release for Tears of the Kingdom, because
kind of like Skylanders,
yes, they're literally Skylanders.
Skylanders or Disney Infinity, but they work specifically for Nintendo games.
Which
I saw your
reminds
game
me
bargain.
of
I'm going to get to
something.
it. When
I'll
Mikey tells
have
his
to message you later about that.
But I am curious to see what amiibos come out for Tears of the Kingdom in the future, because I don't know if you guys remember, but when the Switch released on opening day and Breath of the Wild was a launch title, they had a big like selection of Breath of the Wild amiibos. There wasn't just one. Like there was a bunch. Now with Tears of the Kingdom,
do you think they'll work on the next one? Because I own all of them.
I own all of them too, and I'm hoping with them, well, because they're releasing a Tears of the Kingdom amiibo, so it's gonna have a
they should.
It'll have amiibo support. Now, you know what would be really cool? I'm just gonna throw this out there, just an idea. So one of the amiibos in Breath of the Wild gives you Epona, the horse. Without this amiibo, you can't get Epona in the game, right? So with Skyward Sword HD coming out like last year, and them having the Loftwing pop, or not fucking pop, amiibo, what would be really cool, because the big focus of this new Tears of the Kingdom game is the sky traveling. What would be really cool is if you scanned the Loftwing pop, or amiibo, and you got like a Loftwing or something to fly through the sky.
That would be really cool.
Like, that would be really dope. I don't know. I'm just spitballing here, but I'm just curious to see what they're going to implement. If you guys are curious to see what every single Zelda amiibo looks like, I literally have a YouTube short I just posted like 2 days ago of it. You could see every single one. It's only like 60 seconds long. But yeah, I'm excited. Tears of the Kingdom is going to be amazing. I think I'm taking that day off of work. It comes out on a Friday, I believe, and I want to be, because GameStop has that pre-order exclusive like wood plaque, and even though I pre-ordered it, you're not guaranteed one. It's first come, first serve, so I want to be in line when GameStop opens to get mine.
I'm taking the day off.
yeah. So I will be taking that day and going to get that, because I do not want to miss out on it.
No.
But yeah, so that's my masterpiece. I know a lot of people will disagree. Like, you got a lot of like, that's one debate me and my wife have all the time, is my wife's favorite game of all time from Nintendo is Ocarina of Time, and me and her argue about it all the time, because I don't think Ocarina is the best. I think it's an amazing game. It's definitely an awesome S tier game. It's just not the best Zelda game. But yeah, all right, next up,
I'm gonna hit on Bargain's question first. There's been a trend in the last year and a half with trailers in games across the industry. They're showing less things for certain titles, and with the way Tears of the Kingdom is so hotly anticipated, I think they're doing it on purpose so that they don't spoil anything. I think that's gonna be why you haven't seen that much footage of it, was because they don't need to show it. People are going to buy it regardless. So they'd rather avoid too much spoilery trailer work to just, they know people are going to buy it. Every Zelda kid is going to buy that goddamn game. And so they give you little teases, give you a little peek, show you some ankle, maybe a little bit of shoulder, but that's all you're going to get, because they already know you're going to get your money.
I mean, there are already people on the internet calling Ganondorf daddy, so it's like,
Yeah.
They know who their audience is. They know exactly what they're doing.
Yeah.
The only way they could sell more
Shoulder
is if they suddenly put Pedro Pascal in it.
The fan art for Ganon already is like absurd.
Yeah, well, that's well, that's Haley. Haley, that's what she calls Ganondorf.
Don't judge me, Bargain. I have a thing for shoulders, okay?
I call him what? Daddy?
Yeah, you call him Daddy.
Ganon Dad.
I probably would, to be honest.
All right, next up, let's Jeremy, you're up to pick, right?
Me. Yeah, am I? I'm not sure.
Oh, my wife just wrote in chat that the same voice actor, like we said earlier, is Levi from Attack on Titan, so he's automatically Daddy.
Yes.
I would do things to Levi.
My wife is watching the podcast on the big screen in the living room.
Hi, wifey. I miss you.
We don't kink shame here.
Oh,
okay?
real quick. So my wife has a masterpiece
Hey, Plum.
that when I went away real quick. So she's stuck between two.
I'll be right back.
But she said she was surprised nobody picked this one. So her first choice is Ocarina of Time. So, and then her second choice would have been, like I said earlier, Star Fox Adventure, if someone had already picked Ocarina of Time.
Okay.
So yeah, we're gonna put that in there for my wife, because my wife wears the pants here on the podcast, even though she's not on it.
Absolutely.
Good on her.
What mommy wants, mommy gets.
Alrighty.
Let's not do that again. Yes.
All right, Jeremy, what are we picking?
Okay, every people, we're talking about Super Metroid.
All right.
I had a feeling you were going to say that.
Super Metroid is an S tier game.
It is an S tier game.
Yeah,
So
it's so
now
good.
Now that we're talking about Metroid, I think we should just go through at least the 5 main line story games.
Are you
just get them
are you throwing are you throwing Prime in there? The Prime series?
No, not yet. No.
Okay.
I'm not throwing Prime in there yet. No, I'm going to put. Okay. Well, Super Metroid's S. Metroid Dread. That's tough. I'll get back to that. Metroid, the original for the NES, is a C, and the only reason I say C is because Metroid Zero Mission is the A, because that's the retelling of the first mission. So,
I don't
Metroid 2.
I don't see Dread. I don't see Dread on this list.
Okay, but I'll get back to Dread.
I'm not surprised.
Metroid C, Metroid Zero Mission A, Metroid 2 Return of Samus B, Metroid Samus Returns for the 3DS S tier. They really went all out on that, and I was very surprised. I was pleasantly surprised.
Which one? Metroid 2 for the Game Boy. What is that on? Or where does that go?
I would give it a B.
Okay. And then you have Metroid Fusion for the Game Boy Advance.
Metroid Fusion, I would give an I'm stuck between A and B because it is a little bit more linear than what we were used to, but I don't think that should exclude how beautiful that game was and how it was presented. So I guess Metroid Fusion I'll leave up to everybody else because I don't want to give A or B. Dread was put in the same engine as Samus Returns for the 3DS.
I see Metroid Hunters.
No,
I see Metroid Other M.
Ugh, fail. Sorry.
Is Metroid Other M like more like Prime, or is it a side scroller like Super Metroid?
No, it was Team Ninja trying to do a great concept. I loved the concept of taking the Wii remote and flipping it sideways to go platform side scrolling, and then to switch it to go first person. But the story, the way that they
Later, Collector.
drove the way that they drove Samus's character into the ground with her literally being a bounty hunter, it just did not sit right with so many people. And that is the one thing that really destroyed my experience with that game. It was also very buggy, but it was a great concept. I was so excited to flip between first person and platform in side scroll ways. I was just so excited. I just can't.
Oh no! You know what? I don't play Metroid games very often, but JFR, you know that Federation Force is not Masterpiece.
Federation Force can be thrown into the donation pile.
We're putting that in trash.
Donation.
So.
Brutal.
I don't know. Fusion I would put as an A. Dread.
What is that one for Game Boy Advance? Metroid. It's next
Zero
to
Mission and Metroid Fusion and Metroid Zero Mission.
Zero Mission. Okay, so where does
Yeah,
Zero Mission go?
That is the A.
The A, and then Fusion is A as well. I heard Fusion's good.
Fusion's fun. Fusion's a fun time. It's just when it came out after having, having to explore at free will, wherever you could go, and then it's a little bit more linear, it kind of threw people off, but it's still fantastic. It's just a fun game to play.
We put Super Metroid in S, JFR.
S. Super Metroid's S.
Yep.
That is an S, hands down. It is one of the top 10 shooter platformer games ever created. Top 10, no problem, no question. Dread is hard.
Oh, see,
Dread is either
I was gonna ask you, but you're not a PlayStation guy, but obviously the term Metroidvania comes from obviously Castlevania and Metroid because it's that style of game. I was gonna ask you Super Metroid or Symphony of the Night, because they're both really
they're both top 10 platformer, you know what I mean? They're both in the top 10. We mentioned them in the same breath for the reason that whole genre was created.
Right.
So they're on the same tier.
Yeah.
They're both S games. You know what I mean? It's just it comes down to whether you are into sci-fi or whether you're into, horror fiction. You know what I'm saying? It's just what do you prefer?
Right.
I loved Symphony of the Night. I only recently played it for the first time in the last 3 years.
Right.
Fantastic. I had such a great time, and I totally understand now, why the whole Metroidvania concept of as a subgenre has been created.
Right.
But Metroid Dread, I personally would like to give it an S, but I think it's too soon to say.
Which game? Dread? Okay.
Dread. Because Samus Returns is a retelling of Samus 2, Return of Samus for the Game Boy. But it was just so well done. It was so well polished. What did I think of Prime? Well, I'm not on Prime yet because I'm still trying to get through the mainline Metroid games. I'll get to Prime. So that's kind of where I would place all of the mainline Metroid games.
Okay.
Prime.
Wait, what the hell is this other one on the 3DS? Metroid, I can't read it because it's so small. It's below the curb, all the way to the left.
Bargain, you crack me up.
It's below Kirby.
Which one?
It's Metroid for the 3DS.
Yes, that's Metroid Samus Returns.
Okay, where's that going?
That's going in S.
Okay.
Yeah. Dread is under the same engine, but I don't know if it's worthy of S just yet. I mean, I don't know. I've played the game. I love the game, but I think it's too soon to say for me.
Okay. And Metroid Hunters on the DS.
I didn't really like Hunters. I mean, that's just me personally. For what they did, though, how that game was put onto the DS is very impressive. It's definitely the DS is like N64 engine-esque. You know what I'm saying? It's got that kind of a build. But I really didn't enjoy Hunters personally. But I mean, it could be a B. I would put Hunters as a B. I wouldn't have a problem with that.
Okay.
You get made fun of it all the time. It's all good. Bargain. Prime.
Yep, Prime 1, 2, and 3 are on the list.
Yeah. Oh man. And then we also just had the recent remaster.
Yep. I have only played the first Prime. I have not played 2 and 3 yet. I own number 2, but I'm obviously waiting and playing them in order, so.
Prime is difficult because Prime, the thing with the Prime series is that it's not just a first-person shooter default. It is a first-person platformer. with shooting elements. You know what I mean? Metroid is billed as an exploration game first.
Right.
Like that's how it is. And then of course you get the linear games like Fusion and Other M, and it throws everybody into a tizzy, but you know, that's beside the point. Prime 1. Gosh. I love Prime 1, but Prime 1 Remastered gets the S for me.
Well, we can group them in together. That's fine.
Yeah. Prime 2, A. Prime 3. God. I love being on the internet. I get crucified. Gosh. Corruption. Also an A. I think S Remastered. S is reserved for Prime Remastered. It just they polished it up so well.
Yeah.
And they're doing that a lot with and here's actually something very interesting. I listened to Kit and Krista, who used to be on Nintendo Minute.
Yep, they used to work for Nintendo.
Right, so now their whole thing is separate now, and they just have like over 30 years of insight combined into what, you know, Nintendo and basically what the industry is doing. Now that we have reached a point where we're taking GameCube, PS2, and Xbox original games that were built under the specific like anti-aliasing caliber and the way that those games were presented with that blur finish to kind of give it a little bit more realism.
Right.
In the early 2000s, now they're able to take those games and completely make them in the image that they originally were intended to be. That's why Resident Evil 4 looks and feels so amazing now, because that was probably the original intention of these developers, to make it look and feel exactly as we can present them today without console limitation. You know, these games can be put onto PC and they don't need limitation. It's just whatever your hardware can handle. But that's why we have graphics upgrade cards and stuff. You don't need limitations anymore. It's just how much you're willing to purchase. So games like Prime being remastered and having it look and feel exactly as intended surpasses in a lot of ways, depending on how well the game plays.
Right.
Putting it into that tier. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah,
the original like Bargain just said in chat, Resident Evil 4, the original, still looks great and it plays great. You know, it does. But now that Capcom is able to not have, again, like I said, those limitations, they can take it to the levels that they want.
Yeah, I just played through 4 on the GameCube again right before the remaster came out. So, or the remake, I mean. So
yeah, no, it
still holds up. Still holds up.
So Prime, the 3 Prime games are all A tier. They're really wonderfully made games, very well made. But S is definitely for the remaster. So that would be my whole Metroid spiel.
You guys all good with that?
I already told my chat, but I'll tell you guys now, because I muted you while I
saw you were talking.
Yeah. Well, time, I only ever played the original Metroid.
Okay.
I didn't play any of the others because, well, it's a combination of either I had games to play or I had a limited budget and I had to choose which games to pick, and Metroid never really tickled my fancy.
Okay.
Just not my, like, the whole Metroidvania genre has always been a difficult one for me.
Okay.
It's been difficult with me too. It's still difficult for me. Like I was just playing Ori and the
I enjoyed those ones. And I enjoyed different entries in the genre, but as a whole, that genre, they're all somewhat similar, and I get bored. easily up.
Yeah, it's the idea of doing the backtracking that is
Yeah.
hard for me because I want to feel like I'm still progressing.
You
I want to keep moving forward. I don't want to have to try and remember a part way back when where I had to go back. Yeah, I totally feel you on that.
Left turn that I had to climb up a thing, but I can't climb up the thing yet. Now that I've got the magic beanie, I can do the thing, and I
gotta write it down, which is fine. I don't mind writing it down, but like, yes, I totally agree.
It's more fun writing it down than going back and doing the thing.
It's like making maps. Like, I had to explain to my son actually what the password system was in the old Mega Man games.
Yeah.
Because he was looking through my manuals and he's like, why do you have A5, B2? And he was just kind of looking at it. I was trying to explain it to him.
Yeah.
And, it's just, things that we had to do from a bygone day of playing games.
Yep. Back when we had to have graph paper handy to play games because we were drawing out maps for dungeons and stuff.
Yep.
Before we could get the guides and before Nintendo Powers and all those lovely things. But yeah, when everybody was playing original Metroid, I was playing elevator action.
Alrighty, Drake. Pick a game, buddy.
Have I done my masterpiece yet?
No.
No, I'll toss up a favorite of mine. Paper Mario 1,000 Year Door.
Yeah.
Nice.
Okay.
Great choice.
That is a great choice.
Even though I've only played a little bit of the first Paper Mario, which is still a classic, I much preferred 1,000 Year Door because it was one that I connected more with. I had when I first got my GameCube, that was one of the first games I got for it, and I loved everything about it, the RPG elements, and pretty much, oh my gosh, the bad system is so much fun to play with. And I actually did like a full Danger Mario build once. It was so much fun.
I just started playing it for the first time, but it's a very expensive GameCube game.
It is.
It's like $120 game. So it's.
I wish I still had my stuff, but I sold it all without even knowing if anything was going to be worth it or not. But at least it went off to a guy that would probably. He actually was like, "I'm going to make a whole game room and stuff like that." I was like, "Okay, I'll sell it to you. I actually trust you with all of it." So. It was a guy I knew closely, so.
I swear I saw it. All the Paper Marios are here. Where is it?
I think it was somewhere at the bottom. That's where I found it.
I actually enjoyed Super Paper Mario for the Wii.
Super Paper Mario took a different approach.
Yeah.
I felt it was more like it went back to the original Mario formula. But it also added just like, the little bit of using the extra characters and just using the paper mechanics, the 3D shifting. That was actually pretty interesting to do as a first because why the Wii had more power for it. I actually enjoyed a lot of the Super Mario, or at least the Paper Mario series. I liked Paper Mario 1, 1,000 Year Door, Sticker Star. Color Splash, I still had a lot of...
Origami King's the newest one, right?
Origami King's the newest one.
Yeah.
Still have to play it.
I was just, I was just typing to chat my thought on Origami King, and the problem with Origami King was the way that the battle system was set up is that it increasingly
that's the one thing that really got
random
me.
and frustrating. Yeah, it just gets random and frustrating. And the problem with the Paper Mario series now is that Nintendo is not allowing those developers to go into lore anymore, like with 1,000 Year Door. Like 1,000 Year Door, you get all these brand new unique characters to that game and you don't really hear from them again, and we're okay with that. But I think Nintendo now is trying to bill itself more like an entertainment company instead of just we make video games. Like look at the theme park, look at the movie. I don't really have to say too much more on that, but the way that Nintendo now is dealing with Paper Mario specifically, I mean, Sticker Star was crash and burn. Nobody wanted that kind of a concept. Color Splash did
Was that Wii U?
Bit, yeah, did a little bit better. It was a beautiful game, but and it was a great storytelling concept. But when you get to Origami King, you are suddenly starting to realize all the
And
toads
then it
look
was
the
like coming
same,
back
all
to the fact that it was almost like watching like a little cartoon or anything else like that.
right, and there was nothing outside of the realm of being something different. You know,
Right.
everything just felt too safe. That's the word I'm looking for. The last three Paper Mario games, Sticker Star, Color Splash, and Origami King, just felt too safe. It doesn't feel like they're expanding upon what a RPG, what a Mario RPG can become.
Right.
You know, like what I thought when Mario and Luigi Paper Jam came out, I was like,
I was
yes,
just about to
okay,
ask about
great.
that one, yeah.
Yeah, here we go. This is going to be the one. This is going to be the thing that combines all of these great elements together from both games, and it just felt a little bit too flat. It felt flat. Not that it was a bad game. It wasn't a bad game. It didn't live up to the potential that it could have had, because again, Nintendo was just trying to be too safe, because they've learned from the past with characters like Geno, who are owned by Square, that like if we hand these characters and this lore over to other developers, they own those characters and they can't really do a lot more with them, you know? So that's where Nintendo was like, no, Mario's ours. And then you hand it over to Ubisoft and you have Mario with this giant plasma gun. And I'm just like, where are your priorities? You know? So I don't know. Paper Mario
I'm glad that's not on this list, the Rabbit series. I don't mind the Rabbit series, but
my son loves Sparks of Hope. He's having a great time, and that's his first strategy game. He's 6. He enjoys it, and I'm just like, look, he's a kid. He's easily impressive. I'm going to tell him what is good, what is bad, you know, and if he enjoys it, I think it's a great game. I think it's a good series. No problem.
The rabbits are weird.
They are weird.
They remind me of like the minions from like Despicable Me. Like they're just
that's kind of basically what they are.
It's kind of weird.
Without Groot.
All right, Ange.
Groot.
Pick your.
Let's talk about Smash Brothers.
Which one?
All of them.
3 of them.
Okay.
I think it's hard.
Okay,
What,
so
3?
No.
3.
There's more than that. There's Smash Brothers for the N64. There's Melee.
Say it with me in chat. Say it with me in chat, everybody. Brawl head tripping.
Right.
Yeah. So there's the original on N64, Melee for GameCube, Brawl for the Wii. Then you had the Wii U Smash Brothers, and now you have Smash Brothers.
The Wii U one was the same as the Wii.
No, they're different. And then
Wii U and 3DS marketed with the same characters.
Right.
Yeah. So and then you had Ultimate, which is on the Switch. So
everyone is here.
I honestly.
Everyone is here.
I love the Smash Brothers series. It's one of my favorite Nintendo franchises. I've played the shit out of every single one. If I was gonna rank them, the original Smash Brothers gets a B. Melee gets an S. Brawl gets a B. Wii U gets an A, and Ultimate gets an S.
That's exactly how I would label them as well.
I can agree with that.
I actually, I was close to something on that on my end.
Although I will say this, actually, the 3DS, because we have Wii U and 3DS.
Yes.
If they had the 3DS, what is that? It's kind of like an adventure mode, whatever it is, you know, where you have to like go to different sections of this 2D map to fight in different like little mini battles
like
or whatever.
World of Light or Subspace Emissary, where it was like full.
Yeah, it's like an in betweener. You know, you're trying to find the snacks of like, you know, more strength, more.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm. If that was on the Wii U version, I would be sold 100%, because that was just so much fun to play in a Smash environment. Subspace Emissary, that went so hard, and it's just a shame that it ended up on a Smash Brothers that had tripping.
So where would you put the 3DS version? Because that is one that I did not play.
What did we put as the Wii U?
A.
I would put it in A. because
Yeah.
it was the first Smash that you could take on the go. Like that
Yeah.
was pretty awesome. So
All
I'll
right.
give it an A.
Well, here's since I'm up again, since we're ranking.
Hello?
Hello.
Oh, well, where
Haley?
the fuck have you been?
I've been here the whole time.
Why have you not
Yeah.
said a word?
Because you guys were talking about Metroid for like half an hour. That's why I was talking to Twitch chat for that time.
Sorry, that was entirely my fault. Haley, okay, so you're coming in like that. I am the shortest of all my friends by like maybe a head or like more. And I think one of them at one point said on my epitaph is going to be, I've been standing the whole time.
All right, Haley, what I want you to do to kind of like move this along for the rankings,
Okay.
pick like we just did with Metroid and Smash Brothers, pick a franchise and we're going to hit the main title games.
Okay. We're gonna go with Animal Crossing.
Sounds good. Looks like there's Animal Crossing for the GameCube, which is the first one. Then you have the one for the DS. Then you have City Park, I believe is the Wii.
City Folk.
Or City Folk. Sorry, it's really small.
It is small.
Then you have Animal Crossing for the 3DS. And then
That's what she said.
and then it looks like you have the one for the Switch, the newest one.
Yes.
So where would you put the GameCube one?
This is all you, Haley.
GameCube is very nostalgic for me. That one.
I heard it's fantastic.
Obviously it's the first one in the franchise. Well, unless you're counting, I think the Japanese have an earlier version
They probably
than
do.
what came out for it. I think there was
I
like
think so, yeah.
maybe it was for the N64, but only in Japan.
Yeah.
And I remember it was so funny. And it wasn't even me that played it. My mom played the Animal Crossing on the GameCube, and back then it was one game, like one character, like, or maybe you could have more. I don't know. She wouldn't let me play it though. That's the point I'm trying to get at.
Right.
And so I would just sit there and watch her play it, and it was so fun. And then in high school, I had Nintendo DS, and one of my friend's little brothers let me borrow Wild World, and that was the first time I actually got to play things. And man, I was obsessed, and I think I was obsessed to the point where it was like kind of in spite of my mother. Like, this is my world, you can't play this one.
Right.
But what ended up happening was, when I would get home from school, she would play hers on the GameCube, and then I would sit next to her and play mine on the DS. And if you know me, I don't get along with my mother anymore, so it's nice to be able to pick apart some of the good memories and try to just hold on to those instead.
Yeah.
And then
So where?
the GameCube, I would put in B.
Okay.
Just because I couldn't play it myself. I'm sure the internet's gonna cancel me for that one.
I respect the pettiness.
The DS version, Wild World, I put that one a B too. I really liked that one. They were still kind of mean back then, so that was fun. The S tier of Animal Crossing, though, would have to be the 3DS version, which is New Leaf.
Okay.
I feel like the Switch version, as much as I love the new game, I can't get over the fact that I don't feel like there's enough to accomplish. I don't have to work very hard to get things done like I had to in New Leaf. Exactly.
You know what? That's one of my wife's favorite games on the Switch. And you know what her biggest gripe with that one is she put in so much time and hours into that game. And I don't think I've ever seen her grind a game so fucking hard before. And it drove her nuts that you'd have this big island and could only have like 10 people on it.
Yeah.
That still drives her nuts. We were just talking about that like 2 days ago, actually. I was like, why don't you ever play it? And she's like, I don't know. But yeah.
And then
you run out of things to do.
That, and I have a bad habit of, after I've like pretty much beat the game myself, I'll go through and look up cheats and stuff like that. And I don't know if you guys heard of the New Horizon Treasure Islands on Switch. I got so hooked into those that I ended up having everything, and I just ruined the entire fucking game for myself. It was way too easy to cheat for New Horizons than it was for other games, and which was funny because in the other games you were allowed to time travel. That was the only hack, but you had to spend freaking time to get anywhere with it. Yeah. And they disabled it in New Horizons.
So where would you put New Horizons? A?
B.
Really? And have you guys played the Animal Crossing games? Like,
I really want to like New Horizon because, like, myself and my girls have all played quite a bit of it, but I'm kind of with Haley on it. I don't know if I'd go with, I'd say B plus maybe, or an A minus. So I'll go along with the B because there are some things, but at the same time, no, I'll give it a B because if I really want to play Animal Crossing, I'll play Hoko Life.
You guys know movie
Good
trailers.
night, Angel.
You watch them, they're really exciting, get so excited for the movie, then you watch the movie and realize all the good parts were in the trailer.
Yeah.
That's what New Horizons is to me.
Yeah.
Okay.
There was never like anything climatic about it.
What about City Folk?
City Folk for the Wii, I like that one too. Yeah, it definitely wasn't remember. I remember liking it. That's I can't tell you what I like about it.
Give it a B.
Yeah, a B too.
Okay.
That's the thing with Animal Crossing in general. It's like if I really want to play Animal Crossing, I'll just play The Sims.
Yeah.
Because that's basically what Animal Crossing is
but I mean,
for Sims.
But here's my question though: isn't Animal Crossing?
Sims, but with animals.
But isn't Animal Crossing like Harvest Moon?
No.
No?
Not even a little bit.
No.
Okay. Because I don't know. I don't know what Harvest Moon really is though. Like, what is it?
It's a
the life's big questions.
Running a farm.
What is
Harvest Moon? If you've played Stardew, you've played Harvest Moon.
Yeah, exactly.
If you've played Stardew, you've played Story of Seasons.
So those are like, but isn't that what Animal Crossing is, or no?
No.
Not even a little bit.
Animal Crossing is the game of capitalism.
Yeah, basically, it's capitalism for kids.
Okay, all right.
It's The Sims Light, or like My Sims, but with animals.
All right, so Ange.
Okay, there you go. Animal Crossing is My Sims for furries.
Okay.
Don't do that to me, man.
All right, Ange, pick a series.
Oh shit, me again? All right.
Yep. Pick a franchise. Pick a series.
Okay. Keep your shorts on. F-Zero.
F-Zero. Oh yeah, I've been waiting for this motherfucker because I already know what I'm ranking him. I love F-Zero. Fucking such a good game. Let me find him real quick though. My kid is just running around screaming.
That's what kids do.
Because they're a kid.
Mine do that, but they're in bed.
She's just being so goofy tonight. So we got where the fuck did you go? We got F-Zero, F-Zero X, and F-Zero GX. F-Zero is a B.
And GP Legend.
Oh yeah, it's right here. Wasn't that an anime?
It sure was.
Yeah, it was an anime early 2000s, wasn't it? Yeah.
Yep. It was so convoluted, but it was so much fun to watch.
Okay, so F-Zero the original F-Zero the original gets a B. F-Zero X gets an A, and F-Zero GX gets an S. Cuz they just got better every game. That's just my opinion. I think GX is probably
F-Zero.
Falcon Punch.
The original is an A for me.
Okay.
Yeah, it's an A for me too. Yeah, I think just the initial wow factor for me.
Yeah, and it was just fun.
It was just a fun game, and it was a single player game. It was just you against the machine.
Yeah.
All right. And then what about X on the N64?
I
X was
barely remember it, honestly.
It's
They're
fantastic.
all fun. I mean, they're just
They're all fun.
definitely-
It's just it didn't make an impact compared to the first one, and then
GX was
Yes.
great because you had a game running at 60 frames a second that didn't slow down on the GameCube. Like that's pretty awesome.
Yeah, I mean, dude, that's one of the games I hope that Nintendo remasters for the Switch.
I hope they make a new one for the Switch.
I hope they make a new same.
They need to make a new one.
I mean, GX.
GP Legend A. Oh, F-Zero Maximum Velocity for the Game Boy Advance.
Yeah.
B. Yeah.
Yeah.
Didn't have
Yeah,
the
yeah,
same. It didn't have the same velocity as the first.
It didn't.
one,
Have,
but,
it didn't.
but the title sure did try.
Yeah.
All right, so F-Zero is done then. Let me pick. You know what? We are gonna do the mainline Mario games. We might as well do Mario.
All right.
Buckle up, everybody.
Come on, everybody, do the Mario.
So let me grab them all and throw them up there. We're not including the Mario. We're not.
Super Show.
No, just mainline.
So we got Mario.
I have a poster of them all right here.
So we got
They need a Captain N game.
We got Mario, Super Mario Brothers, Super Mario Brothers 2. Then we've got, where the fuck did you go? There's Mario 3.
I don't remember that one.
Then we're gonna go Mario 64. And then we got Mario Sunshine. Then we've got Galaxy 1 and 2. Where the fuck did you guys go? God damn it, where are you?
It's hard to keep track when they all shift on you.
Where are all of us?
And
Yeah,
then they
this
have the
list is
new
like
Super Mario.
It's
really
like-
ordered weirdly.
What is Harvest Moon?
What is Harvest Moon?
What is Harvest Moon? A song.
What is a
Oh,
moon
from the
harvest?
I was about to make a
20s.
joke about dissecting it, but I reminded myself. I really want to read that essay that you're writing.
Right?
Shine on, Harvest Moon up in the skies.
All right, there we go. There's Galaxy. Now we need
Is
Galaxy
that
2.
a yes that we can read it?
Yes, we can. I mean,
Well, I hope you can.
Where the fuck did Galaxy 2 go? God, it's so frustrating. This list is like, it's frustrating me. Galaxy 2.
There's things missing, and it's so disorganized.
you can't forget the news.
They, like,
Super
scattergunned
Mario
it.
games that are
I
no
don't
longer new.
I'm annoyed by the list because it's not in alphabetical order.
Right?
Like part of it is, then part of it's not. It's like,
Exactly.
it's like, why are you doing this to me? Because I saw Galaxy 2 earlier. Super Mario Brothers U.
Super Mario 3D World.
Yep, I got that already, and I got the one with Bowser's Fury. There's Galaxy 2. I found you, you bastard.
Oh my gosh.
Lol.
Okay, so let's go through the list. Where I personally would put, and I just want to look at Jeremy's face while I say this because I want to see if he cringes or not.
I have. Okay, fine. Go ahead.
Okay.
Oh my god.
Mario 1, the original Super Mario Brothers, is a C. Mario 2 is an A. Mario 3 is an S. Mario 64 is an S. Mario Sunshine is an A. Mario Galaxy 1 and 2. Mario Galaxy, the first one I would say, is an A. Mario Galaxy 2 is an S. 3D World is an S. Odyssey is an S. That's where I stand on the mainline Mario games.
Yes.
I mean, yeah. I can agree with most of that.
Galaxy 2, 3D World, and Odyssey are S games. They're fantastic.
I haven't played Odyssey, so I don't know yet.
Sunshine was good.
Oh, so good.
Sunshine is good, but it's like an A. It's like an A or B for me. Mario 64 is one of my favorite N64 games of all time. I know that's cliche, but it's absolutely fantastic. Mario 2.
You usually shit harder on Sunshine, so I'm surprised by your placement.
Because
I would have expected Sunshine to be a B.
I mean, I'm okay with B or C, but for me, I don't know, man. I've been playing it more and more as time goes on, and I actually had my copy signed by Charles Martinet.
That would help.
And I also have I have 3D
That's
World.
automatically a letter upgrade right there.
Yeah, I got Mario 64,
I haven't played it.
Mario Sunshine, and 3D World all signed by Charles Martinet. But yeah, I don't know. Sunshine is starting to grow on me, and I'm enjoying it. Another game that, I mean, you can't really count it as, it's not a mainline Mario game because it's his own game, but a Mario game to me is like Luigi's Mansion. I'm playing through Luigi's Mansion 1 for the very first time, and I'm like 4 or 5 hours into it, and I fucking love it. It is.
I held my breath for a second there.
It is so good that I literally I already ordered Luigi's Mansion 3 on Mercari the other day, and I'm waiting for it to get here so I can plow through the first game just to start immediately into the third, because the first game is so fucking good. So
I was expecting him to shit on it. I thought he was gonna go, I'm 4 hours in and I fucking hate it.
Yeah.
I was gonna log
and I pissed on it. That's what I was
gonna log out immediately.
And I've been playing a lot of these games simultaneously. So like right now I am playing 3D World and Odyssey at the same time, and they're both fantastic. I love them. Galaxy is beautiful. I've been playing it because I have the original, but I've been playing it with the new Switch 3D All-Stars version. The gyrating planets kind of fuck with me a little bit, like make me a little like nauseous, like motion sickness when you're running around the planets, but it's still a fantastic game. Mario 2 or Doki Doki Panic is absolutely fantastic. I don't know, dude, like I just fucking love Mario. Like I totally just fucking love Mario. And the thing is Super Mario Brothers is not a bad game. It's just when you stack it up against Mario 2, 3, World, any of the other 2D Mario games, it just kind of looks average to me, compared to the other ones. It's just,
I wouldn't put it at a C though. That feels, I don't know.
You know what would be nice?
What?
Is if they remade the original.
They did for the Wii.
No, let me finish. To the length of a modern Mario game, like extended out the levels, because it's very short and compact because of its time and the limitations of its hardware. If they remade it and just expanded out the levels, not necessarily changed anything, just made it a more expanded Mario game lengthwise, then we'd probably be having a different conversation. Yeah, and obviously prettied up the graphics.
But isn't that what Mario for the Wii was?
That's Super Mario All-Stars.
Yeah.
Okay,
but
I understand what you're going for.
You know what I mean?
Yes, I do. I understand completely.
I don't just mean like remastering it to make it look nice. I mean extending it. And actually give it an ending. That would be nice.
I could see what Bargain's saying.
Exactly, Bargain.
Yeah. Exactly. Right. The first doesn't necessarily make it the best.
You know, and another thing too, you have to remember, I didn't play the original Mario Brothers when it came out. I played it on All Stars, where I had 3 other games to choose from. And when I'm playing all 3 at the same time and have that option as a 4 or 5 year old, I'm like, yeah, Mario 2 and 3 are better than this first one. I'm gonna play those.
That's what I mean. That's why I'd like them to actually like remake that one. And
here's my counter to that. My counter is, so okay, let's look at this beyond, like, for a moment. Let's look at this beyond just what the games are, right? The game of Super Mario Brothers saved an entire industry in the United States.
Yep.
That's true.
Fucking ET. Sorry.
If I said Pac-Man, the original, the arcade game Pac-Man, how does that stack up? Would you give it a D?
Yeah. I don't like
give it a D.
The original.
I'd give it an A.
I'm sorry.
The original Pac-Man.
Here's the thing. I'm just gonna be honest. I love my dad, but that was his era. And I look at these fucking Atari games that I played with him, like from Joust and Galaga and fucking Space Invaders and fucking Pac-Man, and I'm like, Dad, these games fucking suck. Like, I'm sorry.
Right. So here's my thing with that. And the last, it's funny. The last time that we did this, and I mentioned that I study, basically the basics of neuroscience when it comes to memories and nostalgia.
Right.
And my whole new mission with my brand is to bridge generational gaps and to try and find a lineage of understanding through generations. So to your credit, Mike, yes, I can totally understand why you would look at Defender and Joust and Pac-Man and think that they're bad games, but they don't suck. They don't. And because when you say that something sucks, you're just kind of throwing the word out there in terms of labeling them as garbage. And the games, they're not garbage. Like, we know what bad games are. Like, we play video games. We know what a bad game is.
Yeah. Yeah.
We know that, So if I were to say Super Mario Brothers is a B game, like if we're talking about this tier, is a B game, solid B, we can get behind that. You know what I mean? Like there's a way that we can get behind that. To Bargain's credit, and to your credit, saying that it's a C in comparison to other Mario games, yeah, totally, absolutely.
Right.
But now we're kind of working under foundation here. So do we put Mario as a C based on foundation, or are we putting Mario Brothers as a C stacked up against the other Mario games? Same as saying, is Pac-Man next to Mrs. Pac-Man? Mrs. Pac-Man gets the S, Pac-Man gets the B. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's how we have to kind of think about it now. We can't just say, Bargain thinks Odyssey wasn't as good as everybody says it is. And he's entirely entitled to that. You know what I mean? But compared to other Mario games, Odyssey definitely shouldn't go lower than an A, at least. You know what I'm saying? Like there's a pocket of gamers that play games, and then there's a pocket of people who have played games and are just not caught up. So what are they going to revere? We're going to revere what we know and what our understanding is of games.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I guess that's kind of like where I'm at now.
Generational expectations.
Well,
exactly. Well, and I'm trying to bridge all of that, and trying to find out why people from one generation of gaming say this about these games. And I would never discount someone's opinion, because I want to know where they're coming from. What have they seen that I don't? You know what I mean? That's why I'm always intrigued at where a person's knowledge of gaming comes from. What is their experience with it?
The way that I would rank these is, I just had it. For me, I would take, for example, Super Mario Brothers, and let's say Mario 2 or 3. Like you had that option in All Stars. And as a kid and even as an adult, I go, okay, if I'm gonna pick Super Mario Brothers, is definitely my last choice to play. And when I look at ranking the games and giving them letter grades, I go, okay, if it's not, I couldn't put it on the same level as another game that I would rather play. I don't know if that makes sense. Like
it makes sense.
Like if I'm giving Mario Sunshine a B, and you look at me and you go, okay, Mike, you can play one of two games tonight, Mario Sunshine or the original Super Mario Brothers. Which one are you going to play? Well, I'm going to pick Mario Sunshine 10 times out of 10. Can I put Super Mario Brothers on the same level as Sunshine? Are they both a B at that point? And to me, out of the entire franchise, the original game, as important as it is to gaming history, and it's a solid game, but I just don't feel like it's on the same level as the rest of the mainline franchise to where it could be an A or an S or a B. I think that it's fine for what it is, but I think that the later installments in the series just are far superior. I mean, just the jump from the original Mario Brothers to Mario 2 was like a night and day game, right? I mean, it's like it was a huge improvement. 3 even went beyond that, and then World, in my opinion, is the best of the 2D Mario games. So I mean, it's just like, where do they stack up? Well, Mario World is an S, 3 is an S, 2 is probably an A, so then maybe Mario Brothers could be a B, but I don't know. When I go to play an NES or Super Nintendo game, that's not even in my top 10 of games I would select to even play or turn on. I don't know. I feel like out of the entire mainline franchise, it's the weakest, even though it's the first.
That's fair, and like I would put it as, honestly, I'd probably put it as a B as well. Mostly because, like, I was, there, and we played the hell out of it when it came out. But as soon as other games came out, I never went back and played it. Because there were games that were more fun.
All right, so let's go through these.
I can agree with that.
Let's go through these and rank them. Majority rules. Super Mario Brothers 1. Where's it going?
It's a B for me, dog.
And Jeremy, it's a B for you?
Yeah, first one, right?
Yes.
Yeah, B.
Drake.
Diesel.
I'd say B as well.
Haley?
Throw that bitch in B.
It's a B. Okay, Mario 2. Mario 2 for me. Mario 2's an A for me. Ange?
Yeah, I can agree with an A. Mario 2.
All right, Jeremy?
Well, I have the shirt, so it's an A.
Okay, Drake and Haley.
A.
Mario 3, S for me.
S.
S for sure.
Ange?
That one's my favorite.
S, I agree.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mario 64 for me is an S.
S, definitely.
Is this cutting out for anybody else?
What? Your mic?
Yeah, the audio. Is anything else cutting out?
Not that I know.
No, it seems all right to me.
Never mind.
Yeah.
Okay.
I can hear you.
All right.
Yeah.
So Mario 64 S.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everybody
Yeah,
in
I
agreement? All right. Mario Sunshine.
Didn't play.
I played. I loved it.
I'll say A.
Okay.
I agree with that. Yeah.
Okay.
Mario Galaxy A.
A.
Yeah.
Galaxy 2 S.
Yeah. Two.
Yes.
Two just improved on everything.
Yep.
Yes. I hope they make a third one.
That would be pretty cool.
We have 3D World and the one with Bowser's Fury. They're both S's, right?
So, 3D World. Okay. 3D World is the A. Bowser's Fury gets the S.
Okay, that's fair.
Because the way that Bowser's Fury is set up, I think that's the future of Mario games.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fair.
Just the way that it's set up.
All right.
Odyssey came close to trying that out, but it didn't have, Fire Flower. It didn't have the power-ups in the traditional sense of what we think of as, an open exploratory Mario game. You know what I mean? It's definitely Odyssey is definitely a 3D Mario game, you know, where you get the mechanic and you use said mechanic to platform. But then when you had Bowser's Fury, you had power-ups in an open environment, and that is, I think, what's gonna propel Mario forward. So
I still need to pick up.
Yes.
I still need to pick up Bowser's Fury. I have just the regular one for Wii U.
Okay.
All right, so Odyssey. S for me.
I loved Odyssey. It's an S. It's an S.
And the last two that I have up here is Super Mario Brothers Wii and Super Mario Brothers U.
Oh, new Super Mario Brothers. The new Super Mario Brothers games, all of them just kind of feel like one giant garble mesh of Nintendo playing it safe to adhere to a casual audience that might not have touched a Mario game in 20 years.
They had to put something new on new consoles for new generation.
Right.
That had recognition for the old generation.
I think it's a B.
Without actually doing anything interesting.
I think every one of the new Super Mario Brothers games are either B, but I will say though, Super Mario Brothers Wii is the A, and I only say that is the only A because playing 4-player at the same time with those courses on that system, which was an extremely popular system, being the Wii, you could get a party going with just that and having those 4 people just try to like destroy each other in a Mario game.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I would put new Super Mario Brothers Wii above all of the other new Super Mario Brothers titles. Just for that alone.
Okay. So A, and then Mario U is a B.
Yeah.
Okay, so we got through the mainline Mario games, guys. We're already 2.5 hours in. There's one more. Go ahead. One more franchise I want to do that I feel like we have to do before we call it a night.
Oh, before we call it, we should bring Bargain in.
Yeah. Come on in,
Bargain has been itching to just like destroy me.
Yeah, no. Bargain. Yeah, just come in here, dude. If
get in here.
If someone wants to drag him up,
human being.
I'll grab him.
Bargain. If you want to jump in one of the VCs, Ange can drag you up. So I really want to rank Zelda before we call it a night.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like...
Well, I guess we haven't, did we?
Yeah, I mean, we have a couple games.
Touched on a couple, but we didn't really
touched on it, but we didn't really, like, take it as a whole.
Right, you're right.
So let me grab the games down at the bottom. So the original...
Yeah, we can't end this without doing Zelda.
Adventure of Link.
Mostly at the bottom. Link's crossbow training god tier.
That's my masterpiece.
Remember when we did that 24-hour thing of Zelda games?
You played that, didn't you?
And I played it, and it was so much fun.
Remember the Extra Life Zelda thing?
Yeah.
That's when I played
crossbow training. I was like, yeah, I'll do it. I will play it.
Bargain did it with us, right? Yeah, Bargain was part of that event.
He did, yeah. Oh, here he is. He's in. What's going on, Bargain?
Hi.
Hey,
I had just like 2 things I wanted to bring up.
Yeah, absolutely.
One, actually, it's funny too, Nostalgia. One of them is actually on your side.
Which one?
Okay, well, how do I live without you? There we go. Okay, I got one.
And Bargain, you can call me Jeremy.
Jeremy, right, of course. Sorry. So my first thought is I don't think it's fair, and this is kind of what Jeremy was saying, but it's kind of going in my own thing as well, maybe. I don't think it's necessarily fair to rate things lesser comparatively to its sequels after so much time has passed, right? Because if you do that, then every single first entry, second entry is gonna suck by those standards, right?
Well,
I mean, you know what's interesting? Before I'm sorry to cut you off. Someone I saw online, I think they were doing it for clout, but I'm not 100% sure, but it sounded like it. Someone had played Breath of the Wild, but hadn't played any other Zelda game before that. And so when they went back to try and play all the others, they immediately said that they all sucked in comparison. And to me, it was that really like rubbed me the wrong way, because they didn't really give things the chance that it needed to understand how they got from A to B. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and I think that honestly, like in that particular instance with this franchise, I think that that's a really bad, thing to do, is to compare Breath of the Wild to, because Breath of the Wild is the only Zelda game of its kind. There's no other true open world sandbox Skyrim-esque Zelda game. They're all linear.
First Legend of Zelda game.
Well, okay, yeah, technically yes, but
Sorry.
I mean, on a grand scale in modern gaming,
right, yeah,
right. So
Now-
but to what Bargain was saying though, is that I kind of disagree, because, for example, Dragon Age is in my top 10 of all time, and I think Dragon Age 2 and Dragon Age 3 are far inferior to the first Dragon Age game, and I think Dragon Age 2 actually fucking sucks. But I mean, so it just depends. I think in a game to game basis, sometimes they get better with quality of life features, graphics, the story, or sometimes I feel like sequels, especially in movies, tend to not be as good. So I think it's just like, my wife fucking loves Grease 2, dude. Like, she likes it more than the first one, and don't ask me why.
My wife does
There are
too.
lots of people who do. I mean, I like.
It has
Grease 2
a
too.
weird small cult following.
Dude,
Yeah.
I
Of everyone
not
going,
that
"Cool
bad."
Rider."
I
Which is
want to
funny, though,
see.
because the one thing I always think of when I hear Grease 2 is the fact that it ruined the main guy's career. What was his name? The protagonist in it.
Oh,
The British dude.
Yeah,
I know who you
he
mean,
was
yeah.
supposed to be Sandy's brother.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
I was listening to an interview of something, and it was saying how that movie, what's the word? Like kind of blacklisted him for a lot of auditions. I
mean, I
Which is
don't
nutty.
think the movie was like that terrible.
It's not that bad of a movie, but it is
the
odd.
problem with Grease 2, honestly, the biggest problem it had is that it didn't have. Grease 1 was full of people that were recognizable. Known actors, at least, even though they were still relatively young, people knew who they were. Grease 2 didn't have that. So at the time, a lot of people shit on it because it didn't have anybody famous in it.
Well, and a lot of people too, I noticed when it comes to like movies or shows about, like when you have a sequel where all the main characters are gone and it's a whole new cast, a lot of them don't tend to do that well. I mean, I know my wife is like a huge Glee fan, right? And so like after like season 3, like in season 4 and 5, when they brought in all the new kids and the other kids graduated and went off to college, and like the show kind of tanked and it was canceled like 1 or 2 seasons later, because
That
like
happens with a lot of them.
yeah, so when you start making sequels or trilogies and you start getting rid of the main cast that made, so I don't know. I like Grease 2. It's cool. I mean,
I don't want to go on a tangent about Grease 2.
Right.
but
I
Angela,
literally
yeah.
threw everything
Couldn't
off.
you make
I'm so
the
sorry.
case that Michelle Pfeiffer was a pretty big selling point at the time?
No.
she was pretty hot though.
Well,
But she
yeah,
was established at the time, though, wasn't she? Or not so much?
No, she wasn't.
Really?
That,
Okay.
That
okay,
was.
no, no, no.
I think that was before she really took off.
Okay. Fair.
Back to macro though, Bargain. Go for
Yes.
it.
Yeah, no, this what I was just saying though is definitely going to depend on how you look at it. It's like when people say that Ocarina of Time is not that great of a game. I don't think you can say that, for me at least, based on comparatively to other titles in the genre of 3D Zelda games. Now, I think it's fair to do the opposite of that, especially when it comes to storytelling, voice acting quality, this and that and this and that. It's even more interesting nowadays with all the remakes we're seeing. Like, With Resident Evil 4 remake. It's fucking awful, dreadful that she got a lot of like awfulness on the internet.
Are you talking about? Oh, you're talking about the voice actress for Ada Wong? Yeah, I think she did okay. I did
bad.
I mean, I didn't.
She did bad.
I mean, I just don't feel like she's in the game enough for me to really care that much about her. I guess
it didn't. Okay, so it's funny. I will say I didn't really notice it when I first played it because, like you said, she's really just not in the game very much. But if you do a side-by-side comparison of the original voice actress to this new one, it is really bad. If you haven't done a comparison,
okay, I'm gonna do that now. Now you got me wanting to do that.
I'm telling you, man, it is really bad. Now the last thing I will say is and this is where I feel like things are so intriguing as far as rating games from a subjective standpoint, particularly when it comes to Mario Odyssey, because I didn't like a lot of it for what are definitely subjective reasons, such as I thought the story was kind of dumb. I wasn't that engaged by it. I didn't think that it was that intriguing. I thought all the level designs were kind of meh. I didn't find them that intriguing. It's a really short game. I think it's the second shortest one in the franchise.
When you do the assist mode, it definitely is a short game.
I bet. And I'm not one of the kind of people that can justify replayability to offset that, but that's once again a subjective thing, right? So I give Mario Odyssey a C.
What is assist mode?
Strong C.
Assist mode, it's it has arrows pointing to your next objective. So let's say like a 5 or 6-year-old, like my son loves Mario Odyssey.
Yeah, it's great.
He plays assist mode because it helps him get to the next point.
Right. Okay.
You know? And he's learning how to navigate in a 3D environment in a video game, and that's that can be confusing to a 5-year-old.
Yeah.
So having that just kind of allows you to casually enjoy the experience.
Don't they have
knock on that,
Don't they have like an assist mode kind of thing for the Mario Kart on the Switch too, where it'll drive for you pretty much for little kids?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. They can just have fun with it,
Yeah.
That's what it's all about. It's about having fun. That's what it's.
Return to Dreamland Deluxe. Kirby Return to Dreamland Deluxe has a rescue system in it.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
If you fall in a pit, it will pick you up and you can just keep going.
Mm-hmm.
See, those are the types of games, because my daughter's 2.5, so like
I recommend Return to Dreamland Deluxe.
Those are the kinds of features that she's gonna need starting out playing games, right?
And you can play it with her.
And I will say I'm happy that I never got rid of Mario Odyssey, because my kids in a couple of years will really enjoy it.
Yeah,
particularly with that assist on mode, right? So
right.
It's so funny to me. And there is so many different factors as far as things being subjective go, and I'm not trying to make this show a hostage based on me talking so much. So
no, you're good, dude. Don't even fucking.
That's too much longer. I, for example, never played the original Resident Evil 3.
Right.
And I really enjoyed Resident Evil 3 Remake. But after having played Resident Evil 3 Remake and then researching what all was missing from the original game, I could definitely see why people shit on it so much, because a lot of shit was missing.
And you know what? That's actually a Resident Evil game I've been looking for physically. Like, none of my GameStops around here have one used or new.
Like
3, because I have 2, the remake, and 2 was fantastic. 4 is fantastic.
Oh, 4 is great.
I want to play through 3 just because it's one that I haven't played through yet. I mean, even Resident Evil 1, the remake they did for the GameCube, was fantastic. So, I mean, 3 is the only one I haven't played yet, but I'll eventually get to it.
It's funny too, because a lot of this is my first time with the Resident Evil franchise, because I didn't have a PlayStation growing up, or a GameCube.
I played the first one.
Right.
And the second, maybe.
And it goes back to what I'm saying about like not having prior knowledge. And I suppose you could make the same case with playing a sequel. Let's say like Breath of the Wild. and not having played hypothetically any of the other 3D Zelda games, right? In Resident Evil 4, I hated the first probably 10 to 20% of the game up until that first major boss. God, what's his name?
The big cheese.
Yeah, the big cheese.
Yeah.
It was a fucking dope boss fight, right?
Yeah.
But I didn't like the game up until that point because I got really tired of waves on waves on waves of enemies. It felt like I was playing Horde mode in Gears of War.
Right.
And it was very off-putting, but I have to also realize that the original game came out like what, 2005?
5. Yeah.
That was all the rage in gaming for action games, right? Like just
that lengthened content.
Exactly. So it's like I said, I feel like it's you can't judge a game based on either knowledge you have or don't have of previous titles, whether they be remakes or in the mainline series.
Right.
Okay.
So each game has to be based on its standalone period.
Right. Like
I think so.
The way I grade most games whenever we do these lists is based on how much fun I had with them.
Yeah.
And because they're games, that's exactly what they are.
Yeah.
Right?
And if
They're
I give
meant to
something a
be
lower
entertaining.
grade, it's because I didn't have as much fun with it.
Yeah, and that's kind of how I am with the first 3 Mario games, right? Again, having Mario All-Stars and having all 3 on one cartridge, I had much more fun with Mario 2 and 3 than I did the original, so I just never really played the original. Yeah, I played it, but I just, these are better. When you're 4, 5, 6 years old, I'm like, yeah, I like these ones more. I'm not going to play this other one. This one's not that good. Or
Now,
whatever.
the very last thing I want to say real quick, and then I'll shut the hell up. I don't want to be hypocrite in kind of defense of Rect. What he was saying about being able to judge a title based on or comparatively to the sequels or the games that came before it. I do that with movies, with series of movies. I 100% do exactly what Rex been talking about. So I see where he's coming from because I do the exact same thing in a different medium.
Okay.
Yeah.
Here's the other thing too, though, Bargain, to your credit. When you're talking about movie sequels, usually movie sequels built upon what the first movie's plot was based on. But when you take The Legend of Zelda and then A Legend of Zelda: A Link to the Past, they can be 2 separate games. You do not have to play the original Legend of Zelda to play
almost
the
any
past.
Final Fantasy.
Right. Same with the movie, but it's different with movies. Sometimes with sequels, you need to watch the first movie in order to see the second one.
Right.
So by comparison, games, luckily up to this point, you can just enter in at any point.
But it also comes down to like how heavy in storytelling that the games are, right? How important, like let's say narrative first games.
Right,
a lot of
right.
people will call them walking simulators, right? I can see the standpoint of, let's say hypothetically I hated The Last of Us Part 2, which I'm probably more in the direction of liking it, not loving it. If I hypothetically hated The Last of Us Part 2, I could see that changing my feelings of Last of Us Part 1.
Okay.
Exactly, you two.
Hi, you two.
Because it changes a character's personality, or more so their potential to become something lesser or greater. Like let's say in the first installment of a game, you have a bad guy, and then the second installment of the game, he becomes a good guy. Well, then it's like, was he really all that bad in the first game? You know what I mean? It can negatively impact your thoughts on a character.
To be fair, good and bad are perspective in some regard.
I see what you're saying there.
So Bargain, I have a question for you.
Yes.
We're ranking the last franchise of the night because we're almost at 3 hours. You want to stay and rank Zelda with us before we call
please.
it? Okay, cool. Sweet. Okay, Haley, you're still there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, Drake, you still there?
He had to walk away for a second.
Okay, this is literally my favorite Nintendo franchise. So,
Tie the yellow ribbon, everyone.
all right, so let's go through it. We're all going to give our letter grade through
Okay.
every Zelda game on this list. The very first Legend of Zelda. I'll give my ranking last. We'll start in order of Discord. Ange, the original Legend of Zelda.
The original?
Yes, the first one.
It's an A for me.
Okay.
I had a lot of fun with it.
All right. Bargain.
Pissed me
think
the
A's
fuck
fair.
off, but I had fun with it.
A is fair to me. Yeah.
Okay. Haley.
A is good. It had a good story.
Okay. Jeremy.
A.
Okay.
Yeah,
I agree. A sounds perfect to me.
The only reason I'm hesitant. And now I just played the original Legend of Zelda 5 times in a row in the past 4 months on my lunch breaks at work.
Oh shit.
Oh.
Each time I played through it with less and less help to see if I could remember what I did in the previous playthrough. And the more I did that, the more I understood exactly the foundation of Breath of the Wild. So,
Dude, I've said that before where like when I've watched Shigeru Miyamoto like describe like his concept or because according to him, he used to like to really go on walks and go exploring. And that was kind of like his concept for Zelda. And then you see, yeah, Breath of the Wild definitely has its flaws. Don't get me wrong. I love the game, but it's far from perfect. But when I see Breath of the Wild and then I look at the first Legend of Zelda, which was an open world game for its time, I almost feel like that's what Miyamoto was envisioning back then.
Which
Okay.
actually,
I like that.
not to give too much away, but that is actually one of the key points in my YouTube essay that I'm writing currently. So I don't want to give too much away, but yes, you are right on the money.
Yeah, like when he made the game in the 80s, Breath of the Wild is what he envisioned.
Correct.
That's like how I've always thought of it, because I watched like a whole like little mini documentary where Miyamoto was talking about how he came up with everything for Zelda and where they got Zelda's name from. It was somebody's wife. It was an author's wife, I believe, or
Yes.
an author. Yeah.
It was oh my gosh. Not Eugene O'Neill. It was, oh my God, I can't remember. But yes, it was their wife's name that he based that off of because he just thought it sounded pretty. I have to find that out.
Yes.
But yeah, you're literally dropped in the middle of nowhere and you're just like, all right, what do I do?
Yeah.
And that's how it was. But yes, A, totally for Legend of Zelda 1.
A super quick thought, something I find intriguing about visions of creators is even jumping between two mediums. So, for example, with The Last of Us TV show just happening, Neil Druckmann said that he had a lot of things that he wanted to do in the game that didn't work, or just would be too much exposition dumping, right? Kind of, sort of, right? So
Sure.
it's cool to be able to see someone's vision come out in a completely different way,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
All right. So we got Zelda 2. The adventure.
Oh, Fazanadu! Fazanadu!
The Adventure of Link. I give it a C.
I'll see myself out.
I give it a C. And the reason I give it a C is I legit think that this game gets a lot more hate than it deserves. Fucking Ange, dude. I don't think it's as bad as I think what people are doing, and
It's not. It's
I think people are at the time in the 80s, they loved the original Legend of Zelda, and then they get this experiment, and they're like, "This isn't Zelda. What the fuck is this?" It's like got Final Fantasy weird like traveling elements. It's got like RPG elements. It's side scrolling, but it's like overhead view in some parts. It's like a really weird concept with leveling up your stats and it's hard as fuck. It's probably the hardest Zelda game. Like, it was way different than any other game in the franchise, and people
Here's something that I'm finding with Gen Z and also Gen Alpha. The thing that I'm finding with the two generations is that their ability to go backwards is hindered because of an influx of oversaturated content and entertainment coming from many different directions. So when you say to someone who is approaching 30, or when you talk to a kid who is bombarded with everything new, everything fresh, everything exciting, here's my react to this, here's my whatever, and you tell them, try to place yourself in 1987 or 1988, and you don't have a lot of other video games at your disposal, you don't really have a lot of other forms of media to just have, and you get Zelda 1 and then you get Zelda 2, are you going to really play a lot of Zelda 2 or not? You probably will, and the only reason I say that is because there's not much out there that you can just get your hands on easily, so you're going to milk it.
Well, yeah,
does that necessarily mean that it's good? No, it does not mean that it's good.
Well, yeah,
but it means that you're getting an experience out of it, whether it be good or bad. You're still getting something out of it instead of just throwing it to the wayside after 23 seconds, and that's been studied. It comes down to, again, we're grading it on that alone. No, we can't. We just can't.
I noticed a lot of retro.
He can because he lived it.
I was there, and I can tell you, I had Zelda 2 for 24 hours, and I returned that piece of shit.
Oh my god!
Fuck that game.
Well, I know that like a lot of kids in the 80s, right? Like, video games were still like, they were looked at as children's toys. They were frowned upon in a lot of spaces. Right. They were still very new to society, and they're expensive, especially for the time period. I mean, so I know that a lot of retro creators I've heard tell stories about their childhood growing up in the 80s. It's like, you didn't have very many games, right? Like your parents would get you a game for like your birthday and for Christmas, and that's what you had. So, we would have to play the shitty games because that's all our parents weren't going out and just buying us games every month or every weekend or whatever. So it's like, these are what you had, so you fucking cherished them because, you didn't know when you were going to get another one. Whereas like today, fuck, you can get video games anywhere now, like on any platform.
And you're my hero tonight.
But so for me, I give it a C. I give it a C. I respect what they were trying to do and be different.
C for me as well.
But it's not great.
No, it's
I
was trying to make a point.
So Ange thinks it's a dumpster fire. I say
it doesn't deserve to be on the tier list. It should be buried in the desert with fucking E.T., okay?
Damn.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
So, mine and Jeremy's 2 C's versus a dumpster fire rating. Bargain, Haley, what do you guys think of Zelda 2?
I've never played Zelda 2, and I probably never will, which I know is depressing, but
you're not missing much. I mean, if
you're not really missing too much.
Just don't.
I've seen enough to where it's like, I don't want to waste money getting a copy of it,
I'm with the.
I wouldn't even emulate it because I'd be scared of break something.
I'm gonna put it in D just for the dump.
Yeah, put it in the D because I also don't like it at all.
All right, next up, we got a lot more to rank, so let's get through them. We've got Link's Awakening for the Game Boy. Anybody?
C.
It wasn't bad, but
I like the new remake for
there
fucking
was
Switch.
something about it
That was
didn't-
fun. That was great.
If we're
because
talking
everything
about-
Yeah, I'd go with a C.
felt interconnected.
Now, I need them to do that with Link to the Past. That would be cool as fuck to get like a modern Switch remake of Link to the Past.
I'd rather get a sequel.
Well, we did Link Between
Link
Worlds
Between Worlds.
No, I know, but
on
that's
a
not what I mean.
on a home console. I mean, would be nice. Can you play? Is there a way to play Link Between Worlds on a home console? Like, or do you like? Was it on a virtual store?
No,
That's
I've
my knowledge.
I've tried finding a streaming device for 3DS, and there's nothing.
Because I want to play Link Between Worlds on a big fucking TV. Like,
Yeah.
See, when I say sequel, I have a sequel. I've had a sequel idea since I played the original, and that would be to play Link to the Past from Ganon's perspective.
Whoa.
Okay, I don't know.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
then play Tears of the Kingdom.
That sounds
just
really intriguing.
I'd rather buy a
honestly.
Wii U.
I love.
Should
Hey,
I
I,
Wii U?
I love my Wii U. I'm staring at it right now. The Wii U is a fantastic console, even though it literally just became a library
really
for the
is.
Switch.
Where's Majin?
The best game to advertise for the Wii U was Lego City Undercover, and
Yes. Yep. Yeah.
that My Sims game. My Sims
Yeah.
Spies or whatever.
Lego City Undercover is so much fun.
Okay, so Link's Awakening for the Game Boy. I have never played it. So
okay.
That's a lot of handheld Zelda games for me, though. I have played this one.
what are you guys thinking on it? What are we giving it?
I'm trying not to be biased, which is a lot of these games because I do love the Zelda series as much as I shit on a lot of the games. I know, I do. I think I have to give it a C.
Yeah.
It hurts
Yeah.
my soul.
I would agree with that.
It's delightful, but I feel like it wears on its welcome way too quickly.
Yeah.
So a C, a B,
I feel like the average C is
See.
C.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Who
All
said
right.
B?
Oracle of Ages and Oracle of Seasons.
Ooh, I have actually. I just said I hadn't played them. I
Didn't play either of them.
C.
There's a lot of. God, there's so much bias with that one too because I played that one a lot as a kid. C. I think C is fair.
Yeah.
Jeremy?
For Seasons and Ages.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, they improved a lot upon what Link's Awakening did in terms of just
Didn't they add that
Having it
jumping
to-
mechanic? Where you could jump over shit?
think so.
I think they added that in the Oracle of
I would-
Ages and
you know what?
Seasons.
I mean, they're B's for me.
Okay.
I don't really go beyond that. You know what I mean? So
Yeah. All right. Well, that's fine. All right. So this next one, fuck. Yeah. Let's get it over with. Wind Waker.
Okay. All right. Brack, let me reach out my hand of support. I know I shit on everything you love.
Bargain the last
Breath of the
time.
Wild and Skyrim.
Bargain the last time we did this. Mike and I made a pact. He needs to replay HD, but I'm gonna help. I'm gonna be there. I'm gonna help him get the Swift sale, so it makes
Yeah, I was
life
gonna say,
easier
yeah,
for
that's
him.
actually a big
But
thing.
I have to play Knights of the Old Republic.
Wrecked. I apologize, but I think we're gonna outdo you on this one.
We are, and I'm telling you, when I show you how to get that thing, it's gonna change.
Dude,
Your
so
whole
when I
perspective.
got it, I was almost done with the entire game. Someone said,
Right, and that's the problem. I
That's
said
the
I was the
problem.
one who told you.
yeah,
It's
you're
not
like,
an in-game item.
you're like, hey, you didn't get the super sale? I'm like, what in the fuck is the super sale? And I had a chat every fucking stream, a chat full of people. Oh, Wind Waker's my favorite game. You're gonna love it. And I'm like, Jeremy comes in and he's like, hey, you don't have the super sale? And I'm like, what the fuck is that? And he goes, oh, it's a sale that you get early on in the game where you don't have to play the fucking instrument to change direction of the wind. And I looked at the rest of my chat and I was like, where were you cocksuckers at fucking 40 hours ago when you
Listen.
when you saw me want to throw my controller every fucking 5 minutes?
Listen,
that
guys.
was the content.
If you know me, I do not have a good memory whatsoever. But
Okay.
I remember this entire interaction. I was there for this stream.
Yes, you
And
were.
when I tell you, I almost fell out of my fucking chair. Like, it is one of my favorite memories from back
never-
when
I
Rex
was-
was streaming all the Zelda games.
I was standing watching him on my iPad in my kitchen, and I'm just casually typing to him, just being like, "Hey, did you know about this?" And I'm like making a sandwich, and he's freaking out, and I'm cracking up, and I'm like, I should have like I kept thinking in my head, man, I really should have been
Dude,
there since the
so
start."
yeah, and I fucking go and get it in like 5 minutes and I'm like, wow, this made this game significantly better. But
Yeah, see, that's why we need you to we need you to play it again. I will help you get this thing off the bat. It's gonna just make life so much better for you.
speaking of,
Don't you throw it.
However, now if we're talking about tier, and here's the thing.
don't ask my rating.
I prefer Wind Waker HD over the GameCube
Right.
based off of that alone.
Yes.
Based off of that quality of life. And also it just looks a lot more pristine.
Yeah.
Having the Tingle Tuner on the GameCube was a really cool, fun idea.
What is the
like, I
Tingle
really-
Tuner?
So
I
the
can
Tingle
never get
Tuner,
it to work.
You plug in your Game Boy Advance into
Okay.
the
Spicy
GameCube,
boy.
Okay.
and it acts as an overhead hub, like a little map, and you can drop like bombs, like wherever you want them, as you're playing the
Oh,
game.
And it's
I
really
do remember
And
that.
you can get
Yeah.
hints and stuff. It was really intuitive. I wish they had that kind of a thing for the Wii U version, but they substituted it with this messaging system for the Wii U, which I thought was kind of bogus. But I still prefer HD over the GameCube version.
it probably has a better name though than Tingle Tuner.
It's like the word dongle. Right,
I mean,
see?
you
That's
don't
right.
want to
I have
play with my Tingle Tuner? What's wrong
just
with you?
proven my
I'm
point.
just like looking at
It's
Ange's
fine.
face when you
Look,
said
Mike,
Tingle
you just want
Tuner.
to use Zelda's Dicky Do and be done with it.
I was trying
Alright,
to
I'm
remember
sorry,
that
everyone.
phrase.
S for Wind Waker for me.
Oh fuck.
It's an S.
Get the fuck out of here right now.
Yep, S. Mike, I'm
Here's the
telling you,
hands.
if I'm
Here's
gonna
the
play Knights of the
hands
Old
right now.
Republic, you have to. I will help you. I will help you.
Okay.
He's like, not on my stream.
What's up? What's up, twin? Welcome in, dude. Okay, so listen, so the agreement bargain was that Jeremy didn't grow up playing any Xbox at all, and I said, look, I said, if I'm gonna replay Wind Waker, then you have to play an Xbox exclusive. It's no longer exclusive, but at the time it was an Xbox exclusive, and I said, I'm gonna give you a good game. And you got to play Knights of the Old Republic, the first game. It's fantastic.
Masterpiece. I don't use that word lightly either. It's a masterpiece.
It's a masterpiece.
Yeah, everyone's been telling me that is like the game to play. So
And you know what, Jeremy, if you can find it, I'm just gonna throw this out there because I want to
it's on the
copy.
Switch.
Yes, Limited Run came out with a Switch version of Knights of the Old Republic, and if you can find that version, I would grab that because I want that for my collection just because it's from Limited Run and it's one of my favorite games of all time. So
yeah, I have it on PC, but unfortunately I can't broadcast and play games on my PC at the same time. It just overburns it out. So
Right.
so I'm gonna
Sounds like
get
you
it on
need the.
Switch
I was
and
gonna say, sounds
go
like you
for
need
it.
the Switch version.
Yeah.
But I'm
So
really
they have it in the eShop. So
I'm really curious though to see what you think of it because it is really a fantastic Star Wars RPG. Like it's so good.
Cool. I'm down. I'm very open to trying new things. So yeah, absolutely.
So okay, Ange and Bargain, please, like help me out here. Is this
Bring it home.
Is this an S for you guys too?
No.
Okay.
No.
Okay.
No.
Where?
Ange, you go first, please.
I never played it, so I don't care.
Oh. I'm tinkering between a C and a B. I have to go with C. I feel like it takes too long for the story to pull me in. The tutorial's boring as shit to me. I thought it was fucking dreadfully just dull.
Oh, the opening
I felt
island.
that about Twilight Princess.
Yes.
Really?
Listen. I will 100% agree with Jeremy. Even though Twilight Princess is one of my favorite Zelda games ever, the beginning when you do the cat thing and the town bullshit and the herding of the goats, that was boring as fuck, dude. Like I just want to be the wolf already and go to the fucking shadow world and start doing shit. It was the goat herding and all that dumb pointless shit in the beginning was really boring to me. So I will give him that.
I also think that it's so funny. And I know I shouldn't let a HD version hinder my rating, but that is the one that's most fresh in my mind. And it does make me a hypocrite for what we're just talking about, but it's funny that what is it called, the what sale?
It's like the Swift sale. The Swift sale. The
Swift sale. Thank you. I feel like it almost helps the game a lot, but almost hurts it too in a weird sense, because it makes the game go by so fast, almost too fast to me.
That's okay.
Right?
That's okay.
I just it makes it feel like it's so much more obvious to me how short the game is in the grand scheme of things, right?
Yes.
Compared to the other 3D Zelda games.
But what I will tell you though is that playing 90% of the game without it and then playing the 10% with
sure
it,
it's a lot fucking worse. I get that.
I
get that.
Knowing the super sale exists now, I'm actually willing to replay the game. If that thing didn't exist, I would never touch this fucking game again. You couldn't fucking pay me to play this game.
Okay.
Please let me know when you.
My
decide
chat is
to play
pressuring me to
it.
give it an S, so I'm giving it an S.
That's Majin. It's 100% Majin
It's not
in your
just
chat.
Majin.
Fuck. Okay. Is it Matt or Daigoji?
Majin had like 13 S's and
No, it's
5
Haley.
50 plus A's in it.
Fucking traitor.
What's next?
Fucking
What's
traitor. Okay, so Wind Waker is going. Where are we putting it? I want no
I
part of
almost gave
this.
it my I still haven't given my masterpiece. I almost made it my masterpiece just to watch your face fall off.
Fuck off. No. Okay. All right. So Wind Waker. Honestly, I'm not giving. It's dumpster fire, trash, garbage, bullshit.
Oh my fucking god.
So
No, Mike, no,
But
you can't. You have to play it again.
I'll put it in S. Or no, it goes in A because Bargain gave it a B or C. It goes in A.
I hate everything. So
Next up, we've got Zelda: The Four-Sword Adventure for the GameCube.
B.
B. Okay.
B.
I say B.
It's fun.
Actually,
It
I'm
is
with them.
fun playing with friends, but like
Yeah. If
B
you
grade
have
doesn't mean it's
friends-
bad. It just means it's not fantastic.
Yeah.
It's still fun.
It's got a lot of Link to the Past elements, to be honest. It
Yeah.
really does, but that's kind of what drew the crowd, But
It didn't
it's a fun
stick the
game.
landing.
No, it's a fun game though. B.
You guys all good with a B?
Yeah, that's fine.
All right, B. All right, next up, we got the Minish Cap. I say S.
Ooh, Minish Cap.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can agree. I really, really enjoyed that story.
A for me.
Yeah, it's an A for me.
I've never played it, but I have it on the Wii U Virtual Styles.
Okay.
and I feel like I'm gonna love it. So I hopefully I feel the same way as you guys.
Either way, A or S. I mean,
it's a fun game. It's definitely it's a stunning game for the Game Boy Advance.
Right.
okay, so we'll put it in A. I think A is fair. Twilight Princess, S. Oh, bargain.
This is
Bargain, don't
you know
make that
those
face.
memes- you know those memes you see on the internet where it's like, what unpopular opinion do you have
Yeah,
that
I
would
know.
cause me to be like this?
God damn it, you guys. I
See?
shut the fuck up. Get out.
No, not that bad. No. I'm.
Are you for real? You gave Wind Waker an S and you give Twilight Princess a fucking C?
I'm
Yes,
comfortable.
I have played every single Zelda game that has ever come out. Okay, that's my fucking shtick.
I'm about to have an aneurysm. Like,
And I have to force myself to finish Twilight Princess. It is a chore.
oh my god.
I would give it an A. I feel comfortable with that.
Oh, Fuck me.
I actually feel like its biggest because I love how dark it is. I love
And that's what surprises me with Haley is that Majora's Mask is like her favorite, so you would think that Twilight she would
Yes.
love it.
And you know, I'm the indie horror girlfriend. So it's like, it's weird to me too. It's strange, but I cannot. I played it for the Wii, and I bought it again for the Switch. And
The Wii
both
U.
times I had to, the Wii U, I had to force myself through it both times.
You know what, Haley? I have to agree with you. It
Oh,
was
fuck.
It kind of felt chorish to complete the game. Not and that, but I'm not going to tell you that it's a bad game. It's not
It's
a
not a bad
game.
game.
Bro.
No, it's not.
wanna-
It just felt. I don't know. It felt
Like work.
Oh
No,
yeah.
it didn't, no,
Yeah?
not like
Wait.
work. It felt like I was just all right. Now what? Okay, now what? I don't know. But
Chorish.
it's definitely not bad. It's but it's definitely not.
I gotta bring
higher
mine down to a
than-
B, man.
Oh,
Y'all
yeah,
know
it's
it's
a B.
B.
It's a B or an
fuck outta
A,
here,
A
dude.
or B.
I felt
for
like
me.
it was a chore at times.
I
too.
I feel like I'm in the fucking Twilight Zone right now.
It's got the highs in the story are so good.
This is the
but
best
it
moment
gets
of my life.
boring as fuck,
Right?
man. It
Hold
does.
the fuck
to
on.
Me, the one thing that I feel is so odd, and you know, you just mentioned Majora's Mask. In Majora's Mask, it's relatively
Cameron is doing
easy
wild
to.
I love that Bargain's still here, by the way.
Yeah, I know.
Right?
It's relatively easy to on the map to get rid of the barriers that are in your way. But even if you get rid of everything on Twilight Princess's map, it's still a fucking chore to get around the map.
Yes.
So much so that it made it just I don't want to have to and I don't know if fast travel would have fixed that or not, but man.
Maybe
No, you
maybe
know
they
what?
should have maybe they should have put a Swift sail in the fucking game and you guys would have loved
No,
it.
you know what? Here's something interesting that I'm thinking of. I think it's based off of personal aesthetic.
Yeah.
Like, do you enjoy the darkness? Do you enjoy the brooding on a personal level?
See,
You know
I
what I
do,
mean? Like,
though.
there is this underlying sense of personal decorum. Will I sit in the darkness?
Well,
Majin said maybe they
And
should have just made
because-
another Skyrim edition.
Wind Waker is a bright, vibrant, CG, cartoonish style.
Yeah.
Whereas Twilight Princess is exactly what Nintendo heard from their fans, and 4 years later, they give them exactly what they wanted. They wanted that dark, brooding Zelda story, and
They-
they
well,
got
they-
it.
they
And
wanted-
and we cherish it.
Yeah,
They
it's good
craved
link.
it, and they got what they wanted.
they
Now
wanted
it
an
comes
Ocarina
down
of
to a question
Time.
of aesthetic.
They
It comes
wanted
down to aesthetic.
the trailer for the GameCube, the initial like not trailer but the almost like the tech demo that people
Right.
saw for the GameCube was not what they got with Wind Waker. You know, they saw this like tech demo and it was like, "Oh dude, that is the next level Ocarina of Time." Like, fuck yeah. So yeah, fans were
The same thing happened with Breath of the Wild.
I mean, fans were expecting Twilight Princess and got Wind Waker. So it's like,
Yeah.
when Twilight Princess was what the fans wanted. And look, everybody automatically, I know you guys don't because you guys know me, but everybody, when I tell them I hated Wind Waker, they instantly go, oh, you're one of those guys who didn't like the graphics. Like, right? Because
Graphics have never been for me at all.
and for me,
Irrelevant.
I thought Wind Waker was beautiful. I thought
That's
that
very fun game.
I love it.
it looked fantastic. The combat was fluid and felt great. And some of the Easter eggs, like the Temple of Time towards the end of the game, was fantastic. That fucking water was awful. It was awful. It felt like 90% of the game was traveling on this vast, empty fucking ocean. You want to talk about Breath of the Wild being empty? Wind Waker's ocean was vastly empty. And the little islands that you could explore.
He didn't have to sail.
Well, that's what. Well, Aonuma said the same thing you just did. It just felt empty.
Yes.
And that's why they tried this interconnecting thing. But you know what? I will say to Twilight Princess, since we're still on it, Twilight Princess is a fantastically developed game. I enjoy getting, new power-ups and exploring the dungeons and everything, but it's just that pull. It doesn't pull me in. For some reason.
Well, another big gripe I had with Wind Waker that's not just the water was I really felt like the dungeons were very forgettable and lackluster in Wind Waker.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
There's now I think you can say the same thing for Twilight Princess, man.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
All I was gonna say, like, to me, as someone that does like the overly dark aesthetic, right, as far as just almost emo storytelling, right, there's a big difference between Twilight Princess and Majora's Mask. Majora's Mask is a beautiful game because it gives you so many emotions. You feel dread, you feel happiness. I cried 3 times during that game. I just felt depressed during Twilight Princess, and that was the only feeling I got.
Yeah.
I was depressed by how much work I had to do.
All right, so realistically, where are we putting Twilight Princess?
With you having an S, I guess it would average to be a B.
Fuck me. It hurts my soul that Wind Waker's higher.
I tried helping you, buddy.
Oh no, you didn't. You dropped it to a B.
I didn't even give my ranking.
You gave it an A, and then you're like, you know what? On second thought, everybody else who hates Wrecked is right, so we're gonna give it a B.
I never said no. It's an A for me.
Okay.
Oh, there you go.
There you go.
Yeah, I don't give a fuck. It's
Remember,
going in
I didn't say
A.
it was a bad game. I said it was a matter of aesthetic.
Did Drake come back? Does
I
Drake
don't
have a
know.
vote?
I think he disappeared. All right, next up. Okay, so these next 2 games, we're just gonna call them what they are: a shittier handheld version of Wind Waker, Phantom Hourglass, and Spirit Tracks. So
those can go in like
I
D.
skipped them, so I don't care.
yeah,
They're D's.
those can
I
go.
own them on the Wii U, but I
So
need to
do
play
I.
them, but it sounds like I'm gonna hate them. So yay me.
Yeah, I have.
Yeah,
I have them on the
I
Wii
did
U
not
too.
I really did not enjoy having to control Link with a stylus. It just did not feel. It felt too cumbersome.
All
It
right.
just didn't feel
Fu-
I don't
Yeah.
like I don't like the stories. It's just
Oh, see now
coming from someone whose favorite was Majora's Mask. Like I don't know. I didn't care for him.
Spirit Tracks had a nice story. It's just having to play those games the way that you needed to was just. It was Nintendo once again trying to say, "Hey, we've got this new thing that we can do with this system. Let's build a whole game around it." And I'm just like, well,
Yeah.
save it for something that you could try that's new. Try a new franchise with something like this. Don't
Yeah.
use an established IP where people are expecting to have to control Link with the D-pad, and you tell them that the only way to do it is by using a stylus.
Honestly, that is the best way to explain it. It didn't feel like it should have been a Zelda game.
No, it should have been something different. It should have been something experimental. They tried, you know. And
So
Should have been a Sonic
D?
game.
D?
D. Yeah, fuck those games. All
I'm
right.
not as cool as
Next up, we got Skyward Sword, which for me is a B.
I actually really liked it, even originally.
I'm looking at Bargain's
didn't have-
face, and I know
didn't have
exactly what
issues
Bargain's
with people
thinking.
had.
Bargain's thinking of 2 words: bomb bowling.
And
Honestly,
I'd agree with B.
I have very harsh things to say about it, but D.
Okay.
Wait, Skyward Sword was the one that came out on the Switch too. I didn't like either one of them. I didn't like Skyward Sword or Twilight Princess.
So Skyward Sword and I have a very interesting relationship. I completed that game 100% in 73 hours flat. And when I landed the final blow, I jumped to my feet in joy because I got through a game that honestly, I have to give it a B.
Yo, what's up, Sam? Welcome in, bro.
After experiencing what I did to get through and just watching Girahim be just a freak throughout it, I was just like, yeah, I'm kind of glad that it's done. So
Yeah.
definitely a B. I mean, the Switch controls now using the slashing directions with the direction pad was actually a pretty cool addition. Like that's a really cool concept that I hope other games will use in the future, depending on like what environment the characters would be put into. But that doesn't really edge it out, you know. But I thought that was a really cool addition to that game. So,
It's
but
interesting. I feel like I don't know if it's necessarily from an aesthetic reasoning, but I feel like for me, this game is the closest to Ocarina of Time, but it's not a compliment. Rex said earlier that he felt like with Twilight Princess, the trailer, and I'm forgive me if I'm misquoting you here. You said that the trailer, Nintendo Hope would be like, "Oh, fans, Ocarina of Time, woo!" That's what I felt from Skyward Sword, but it didn't do anything good.
I think that the game would have been way more well received without the motion controls.
But but that's the thing. Even if you fleshed out the combat, I still don't think I'd be that much differently feeling.
Tears of the Kingdom is going to be what Skyward Sword was meant to be.
I could see that. I could
Because
totally see that.
The one thing that was on everybody's mind during Skyward Sword was, well, why can't I just explore this interconnected ground world?
Yeah.
And that's exactly why Tears of the Kingdom was developed. Because Skyward Sword was built upon that foundation, and Aonumus even said because of technical limitations, we were not able to do what everybody was expecting this game to do.
That's my
fear. But with Tears of the Kingdom, you said it before, this land has already been, this empty land has already been fully explored. We're just going to go back down into this empty familiarity. But the thing is, and actually it just popped up on Nintendo's official Tears of the Kingdom website, that the islands, you start in the sky. You do not start on the ground in this game. You start in the sky, and the ground that we are familiar with has been broken up into these giant gaps. So everything is sectioned off in a way, but it's still all interconnected. You can still zoom from one to the other without having to, like I said, like you were worried about before, loading screens.
So there's gonna be
in
zero
the
loading
in-game
screens.
demonstration that Aonuma played through, there was no loading screen. It literally
Going
had
between
you
okay, that's
riding.
awesome. That's great.
Yeah. So,
Yeah,
but you know how when Super Mario Brothers came out on the NES, and then you get Super Mario Brothers 3, the giant leap in graphic and the capabilities of what the system was able to do between 85 and 90. I think the Switch, now that they know what this system is capable of doing and what the limitations are in kind, I think now they understand that they don't need those loading screens. They can keep the same engine and then
I don't want to stay on this too long.
Right.
Correct me if I'm wrong. The only way we've seen, and maybe I missed something, going from the ground to the air or vice versa is Link holding on to something, right?
Yeah, you go into this. It's like a rune. It's this reverse thing.
Okay. So here's my point. My fear is, that's going to be the only way to do it, because in doing so, you're essentially doing Mass Effect 1's elevators.
But then he jumps off the island and lands on the ground, no loading.
Oh, okay, then never mind. Fuck me. No.
Yeah. So
But I get
Link
what
got
Bargain's
hit
saying,
and
though.
knocked off and starts flying,
Oh.
and he opens up his chute, no problem.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
so
He
it
opens up
sounds-
his paraglider or whatever.
Okay,
yeah.
Yeah.
That was my concern, but that's awesome.
Yeah,
That was
'cause
like-
in the
like, 'cause I mean,
With Mass Effect, it was like the loading screen was like the elevator, right? But it was like it was like the illusion of like, oh, you're still playing the game. It's not really a loading screen, but
right,
you're in
but
an
yeah,
elevator.
I hadn't seen anything about like, just. And I hope there's something that they're gonna give us to where we can fly.
I'm hoping that this Loftwing amiibo that they had for Skyward Sword gives you a fucking Loftwing. Because I was saying earlier, so each Zelda amiibo does something different in Breath of the Wild. They all give you a specialty item in Breath of the Wild. So, for example, the Twilight Princess Link amiibo, well, there's two of them, but one of them gives you Epona. Like, without that amiibo, you cannot get Epona in the game. You just get a regular horse, right, out in the wild. So they came out with the Loftwing amiibo for Skyward Sword HD after, Breath of the Wild was already a thing. So it doesn't do anything special in Breath of the Wild unless they did an update, which I doubt. But I would love to see something like the Loftwing amiibo add some type of flying element to Tears of the Kingdom.
Okay, one more question. Sorry,
Yeah,
I brought up the last one.
of course.
Because I think I have missed on some of the I don't like watching trailers, which hinders my knowledge of things. So forgive me. Do we know how much of the original map they're using?
No.
I know.
My only concern is if, let's say, hypothetically, they're only using 40% of the original map, as far as the ground goes, right? And then you have everything above it in the air. I worry that's going to cause a fuck ton of backtracking more than perhaps what we got in the original game. So that's something I'm curious about.
Well, correct me if I'm wrong. In the trailer where it shows like why everybody is speculating that they're using the original ground is because they do kind of like a side by side, or it like splits to it where they're showing that you're like you explored all this land before, now you're gonna go up to the sky. And it literally, it's just that 1 second of footage that is making everyone speculate that we're still using the original ground we used in the first game.
Yeah, there's a lot of speculation and no real.
You know what I'm hoping for more than anything, and I don't know if these questions have been answered for this game. Okay, 3 things Breath of the Wild was missing for me personally that would have made it significantly better. Number 1, I would love for them to bring back an instrument element, like an ocarina. I feel like that is needed. Number 2, bring back more classical Zelda music. Breath of the Wild music was okay, but it was, I mean, as much as I fucking hate Wind Waker's soundtrack was fucking a masterpiece.
Oh yeah,
it was great. I think all the Zelda games up to that point had great soundtracks. I think this one was just kind of like, it's okay. It's
very lackluster.
Yeah, I would like more even if you like modernized it or like, made it like a different version of original songs like they did in the Mario movie. I would be okay with that. And then number 3 for me is I would like to see more NPCs, more towns, and more things to do in these towns.
More life
in
the world?
Yeah, you know what, though? We have seen that, and there are pockets of that, because now that according to the story, now that things are starting to come back and there's fewer bokoblins and whatever have you, the towns are starting to expand. Like there's already like tents and stuff popping up in Hyrule Town Square. So we know that there has been like spreading life throughout.
That's the concern, though. Is like, is it only going to be an increase of by like 5%? You know?
Who knows? Not sure.
Right,
we don't know
right,
how much
yeah.
time has passed. It's all story.
Right,
you know,
yeah,
it's-
yeah.
Yeah, I would like to see more NPCs and more stuff to do in the towns. I did like the little side quest thing where like in I believe it was the Kokiri village, where you can do like that little side quest to get your own little house that you could display your weapons in and stuff.
Super cool.
I loved that, honestly.
I love stuff like that. I would like to see it expanded more on, for you to have like a custom
And then, like,
house or
building
something.
That town, right?
Yes.
Yes,
I
Fairy
like
Town.
that too.
Yeah.
That was a good one.
They need to give Link an orphan or two he can adopt, I think.
But they did that in Skyrim.
That's why.
I would-
So
I wouldn't be
Skyward
opposed to
Sword,
it.
where are we?
Skyward Sword for me is like it's like a BC for
Yeah,
me.
Same for me.
They should add some Twitch integration to Tears of the Kingdom so we can spawn bears.
Oh yeah. they have fucking
We got drops tonight. Tears of the Kingdom drops.
That would be amazing, actually.
Bears.
Not gonna lie.
I'm
If they actually linked up the Switch for Twitch drops, that would be phenomenal.
that would be insane, dude.
That would be really cool.
I definitely I'm contemplating, because like, you know, I think we all can say this as like content creators, that there are games that you feel like, man, I should really stream this or make video content on this because it's a big title. But then at the same time, there are certain games that, as much as it would help your like streaming out or your views or your revenue, some games you just want to play alone. Like
Absolutely.
some
You
games,
don't have to make content out of it.
yes, like some games I don't want to entertain a chat while I'm playing Tears of the Kingdom for the first time. I want to lock myself
Correct.
away in my
Same.
room.
I'm gonna be playing that on my own.
Yeah, I just want
I
to play it
haven't
by
decided.
myself.
I don't know.
I don't want chat playing it with me. I just want to be by myself and play it. And if I decide to record the gameplay footage and do something with it later, that's fine. But something live, I have no interest in it. So, you know, it's going to be the same thing for me when eventually, you know, 10 years from now, when Elder Scrolls 6 comes out, I'm not going to play that on any type of live service because I just want to enjoy it on my own. And I don't want any backseat fucking people. I hate backseat gamers
They need to
sometimes.
release 4 more copies of Skyrim first.
Yep, they're gonna release the new anniversary edition on your fridge, your smart fridge.
Yep.
So
Alright.
I think the last main one we're gonna rank, because all these other ones are like little side ones. Like Triforce Hero sucks. Link Crossbow Training is like a fucking tech demo for the Wii.
Excuse you. I'm kidding.
Excuse me, princess.
That's a
Dare you.
masterpiece.
So
Masterpiece.
let's talk about this one, A Link Between Worlds, for the DS or 3DS.
A for me.
I think it's an A. It's a solid sequel.
Yeah.
I just
It's a
wish
fun game.
I wish there was a way to play it on a big screen. That's my only gripe with it, just because I do
Maybe
think it's
they'll put
great.
it on the
I wish they
Switch Virtual
zoomed
Console.
out a little bit more.
Yes. So I give it an A.
A.
Hey.
Hey, I don't have a thought on this, but my kid woke up, so I gotta bounce out.
Oh, no problem,
apologies.
brother.
I don't know how many more games are left, but I
No,
gotta
we're
go
we're
be dad,
we're,
so
we're done anyway, buddy.
I'm just gonna do my masterpiece.
my child knew the game plan. Then how kind of her to be polite.
Yeah, we're not gonna go through and rank all these extra ones. No, it's
No.
it's
I
hot.
was actually looking forward to those ones. Weirdly
Oh,
enough,
Hyrule
because-
Warriors, really? Oh no, we're not talking about Zelda on the Philips CDI collector. I'm sorry.
Well, no, I just like
Nope.
even like the crossbow training one. I love the backstory to that, like how that became a thing, right?
Yeah.
There's the I watched the documentary on YouTube. That was super intriguing. But anyway, thanks for letting me participate.
Anytime,
It was
dude.
fun.
Hell yeah, anytime, bro.
All right, have a good night, guys.
Later.
Later,
Yeah.
bro.
Have a
Later,
good
Barton.
one. Take care.
Hey, you were great in the Donkey Kong movie, or the Mario movie,
The Donkey Kong movie.
dude. He fucking
Yeah,
sounds like
Mario
Seth
verse.
Rogen. I'm sorry, he just does. All right, guys. Well,
Fucked up. I have to do my masterpiece, and I will give it to you right now. Mario Kart Super Nintendo.
okay. Mario Kart Super Nintendo. Let's find this bitch. Where are you at?
side of the bed he woke up
That's
on.
today's masterpiece.
You got to be shitting me. Is
It's
it
on. I'm pretty sure it's on.
It's there. I saw it.
okay? Because I'm seeing Mario Kart for the Wii. I see 7, 8, 8 Deluxe.
The battle mode alone.
Yeah.
It's just stupid fun.
Mario Kart 64. I found that one. Oh, there it is.
I
Found
wish
it.
they would bring that back.
Dude, I actually have Mario Kart, the original Mario Kart complete in box.
Nice. Player's choice or original?
Good question. Let me look. Player's choice.
Okay.
Yep.
Cool.
It was like I bought it from my favorite retro store that I go to all the time. I bought it probably like a year ago or maybe less. It was I think I paid like $100 for it, but it's got the manual, all the inserts, everything.
Sweet.
Yeah. So oh, and this game up here, I know this is super random to bring this up, but I've talked about it before. There's like when an obscure, really weird fucking Zelda game comes out, I recommend you guys just buy it and sit on it for 10 or 20 years because it'll be worth money. And I'm taking a gamble on this, but I bought Cadence of Hyrule for the Switch and I still have it sealed and I'll never open it because I have no interest in playing a Zelda rhythm fucking game. But the reason I say that is because when I started collecting for Zelda complete in box games, I noticed that the most expensive Zelda games are the most obscure, weird ones. So like obviously the Philips CDI games are the most expensive. Zelda's Adventure is a $2,000 game complete in the box for Philips CDI. Wand of Gamelon and the other one, the one with the link on the cover, I can't remember. Those are about $400 or $500 a piece. But the one that sticks out that is actually a licensed Nintendo game is the Tingle game for the DS. So the balloon game with Tingle, that is literally a $300 or $400 game. So when you come across these weird, obscure Zelda games, grab them. So like for me, Cadence of Hyrule is that obscure Zelda game that 15 years from now, like Tingle's balloon whatever, could be worth some serious money sealed. So definitely consider grabbing that one if you can find it. I think you can probably get it for like $30 now and just leave it sealed and just put it away. And one day that could fucking be worth a little nice like chunk of change, like I've noticed with other Zelda games. You know, and another thing too, limited run, anything from Atlas to, you know, publishers like that, those games tend to be worth something one day. So I would definitely look into anytime you see something with Atlas on it, grab it if you can get it at a good price. But yeah, guys, on that note, we are 3 hours and 45 minutes in. So almost 4 hours of hanging out, talking about Nintendo games. I will save this list as a PNG and I'll put it in Discord for anybody who wants to share it on their own social media platform. So let me save it now. Download image. And
say a prayer for me. I have to be up in 2 hours for work.
Shut up. Are you serious? You had to work?
Yeah, I've worked like 19 hours in the last 2 days. And I'm about to pull a 12.5-hour shift tomorrow.
Damn, you are making fucking bank, girl.
Hell yeah.
That's fucking dope, dude. All right, well,
I'm gonna die, but it's gonna be good.
No, go get some sleep, Haley. And Jeremy, you're gonna go crash too, right? Because it's fucking 3 hours ahead where you're at. So
it's almost 2 o'clock. And then I gotta paint the side of my house tomorrow. So
that sounds fucking awful, but you know. On a Sunday you gotta gotta
be done.
I know, dude. I feel it. But Ange, are you going to bed or are you gonna be up for a couple more minutes?
I'll be up for a while. I gotta raid out and then I'll be around a while yet.
Okay, so I'm gonna log off of here and then I'm gonna jump into Discord on my phone and chit chat just for a couple more minutes and then I'm gonna go to bed as well. So but guys, thank you all so much for being here for the podcast. Those of you guys who stuck around and hung out with us. Thank you guys all for doing the show with me. I appreciate it, you guys. I know it was super last minute, but I mean, I do want to start streaming more. I don't necessarily know if it's going to be all this type of format, like top tier lists and podcast style stuff, maybe I'll play some actual fucking games on here. You know, I was in the middle.
Nice.
Dude, my Celebration YouTube partner stream, I started playing Final Fantasy Mystic Quest for Super Nintendo, and I put about 4 or 5 hours into it live on stream, and I fucking love that game. It surprised the hell out of me. So I would like to finish that.
Really have anybody on?
I think next time I stream, I might play some actual games. We'll see.
Cool.
But you guys,
I know where we're gonna raid. We're gonna go raid Alf.
all right. Well, you guys all have a good night. I will talk
The
to you
TV
all
show.
very soon. And don't forget, guys, happy hunting.
Yes. Have a good one, everybody.